Good morning and welcome to I Hate Music. How's it going, Nick?
What's up, dude?
Oh, you know, same old shit.
Today it's been a little while.
Yeah, it has. Actually, it's been a while. We haven't recorded one since the Hell's Heroes fiasco. When was that? That
wasn't even a fiasco.
No, I just mean in a general, sense. The fiasco.
When was that?
That was
March something?
Was it March? Man, it's been a whirlwind. I don't know. Haven't even seen you since then either.
No, it's been a while.
But, actually, I got some really positive feedback on that episode, which is nice. Not a lot of, listener emails, but, people hitting me up on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, it was an amazing festival. In hindsight, it took a little while to recover.
No, man, I know. Yeah. Even Erin listened to that episode, and she was loved the fact that I shared the thing about my shorts ripping. Yeah, pretty good.
So good.
Yeah, today we have joining us my good friend Amy Dragon. Hello, Amy.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
We're going to talk to you a little bit about the Recording Academy, the Grammys, and what you do for your day job.
Yeah.
And I'm super, super interested in talking about all that stuff.
Me too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. This is the first time we've had an in-person guest for Nick and myself.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. We had guests over Google Meet, Mortis and Alex Stupak. I think that's it so far.
Well, Jory was in here that one time.
That's true, we did.
Yeah.
But I feel like he was more of a co-host in that situation.
Yeah, he was.
Where Amy's more like a guest because we're going to quiz her on things.
Quiz me. Oh my goodness.
When did the Academy form? No.
Who was the first award winner?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh. No trivia. No trivia.
No trivia. So let's just get this started. So Nick.
Yes.
You were just in Japan.
Yeah. Amazing.
Spill.
Oh, it was amazing. I don't know what to say. That's a superior culture.
Yeah.
In many ways. People are respectful, and it's just incredible.
Right. Musically, though, you went to an all-cassette.
I did. So cassettes are big over there.
Nice.
Retro media in general is pretty big over there, but they seem to still enjoy their music with physical media. So CDs are huge. But there was an all-cassette store.
Oh, yeah.
It's incredible, dude. It's in the middle of nowhere, though. It's kind of hard to get to.
Was it a Tower thing? Did I see it said Tower on there or something?
So I went to Tower has a cassette section as well. The last Tower Records in the world is in Tokyo.
Oh, how cool.
But on the 6th floor, there's a cassette section with selling newer Walkmans and shit like that. But this other store was called Waltz. And this dude just had a huge collection and started selling them, I guess. And so he curated this store. It's incredible. Couldn't really find any good deals or anything. But amazing selection and just not a lot of metal or anything, but just some newer cassettes that are being put out, and they're selling those and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Did you get a Tangerine Dream cassette there?
I did. Tangerine Dream, Oniatrix,
Point Never?
Yeah, Never.
That's cool shit.
Point Never. I got
John's way into that stuff.
Yeah, dude. This cassette I bought, I don't really know that band or anything, but it was amazing, and it is amazing. I forget what it's called. But other Japanese artists I wasn't aware of, just random pickups and shit.
Yeah.
So it was cool, dude.
So fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so traveled around and ate a lot of good food.
That's awesome. That's great.
It's incredible.
All Tokyo?
No, we traveled around. We were in Kyoto and then down to Hiroshima, and then we went to these art islands called Naoshima. I don't know if you've heard of this, but there's these islands that have this huge outdoor art exhibits where Yayoi Kumasawa, she did this she did this pumpkin with polka dots on it.
Yeah.
Really famous.
Yeah, you posted that, and Erin was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe Nick saw that!"
She has these exhibits around the island, and mostly it's just these pumpkins that are painted weird colors and stuff.
Neat.
But incredible art, and they're just so attention to detail over there is incredible, and it's something I appreciate. I don't exactly do in my life. I'm not a detail-oriented person like that, even though I'm an engineer and stuff. But just the attention to detail in the food and the rice, just the very specifics of how they cook their vegetables and just where they get their food and then how they do their art as well. It's incredible.
That's amazing.
Incredible, dude.
Yeah.
I've never been. It's pretty high on my list.
Yeah, me too. It's
pretty high.
Yeah, it's really high for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's awesome, man.
How was your show, dude?
I had a great show in L.A.
Nice.
I did as Moonbladder.
Yeah.
It was my friends in Thief. It was their record release show for their new record, which is amazing. And I have to turn you on to Thief. I'm sure I've told you about them, Amy.
You have, but I have not listened yet.
Yes.
And their new album's great.
New album came out great.
They're killer.
one of those bands where I just get like a little bit angry every time I listen because it's just it's almost like it's made for me.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
And the people behind it too are just like the best.
Yeah.
And I love them so much as people, and I love their music so much. Like literally without exaggeration, like probably top 5 band for me of all time.
Dang.
That's how much I love it.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah. So.
And you wrote a foreword for their...
I did. It's right up there. They have an art book that came out with the
and
new
it was
record.
in the art book that you wrote the foreword?
I wrote the
That's
foreword
nice of you
for
to
the
do
art
that.
book.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see that when we wrap. That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. They're just the best, and they're a huge expander for me. They open my mind to different ways of creating music and creating art. I just can't speak highly enough about them. They're just amazing. But I've toured with them like 6 or 7 times as Moonbladder, and they had this record release show in LA, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to come down and open?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I do." So it was great. So Aaron and I went down there for 4 days, I guess.
Oh, nice.
Had a bunch of food, did all that stuff, and then the show was great. It was sold out at the Resident in LA, downtown LA.
Oh, incredible.
I feel like my set went really well. People really liked it. Sold a bunch of stuff. Thief were amazing as always.
Nice.
Black Mare also played, and Zaster. Cool. Yeah, it was great. It was a great night. I felt really satisfied with my set, and the trip as a whole was great.
You scared people with your music.
Dude, that set was frightening. I'm not trying to blow myself up here, but it was frightening. Like,
it's like watching Scream in 1996 or Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch?
Yeah, I was like watching
Blair Witch in like 97 or whatever. Yeah. No, it was cool. I kind of pushed myself beyond what I usually do as Moonbladder, and it was also I had to make it about me. So I released my own cassette that day too. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, maybe you should give her a copy on the way.
I would
out.
I collect tapes, so I would
Nice.
totally.
Oh, really? Oh, good.
Yeah.
They're right behind you right there.
Oh, I'm definitely going to take
I'll
one
give
of
you
those.
one on the way
That's
out.
great. Yeah, cool.
But of course, I had to make it about myself. So it's like, Thief's cool and all, but New Bloom Moonbladder too. So yeah, here we go.
Nice.
So that came out that day.
Did you sell any tapes?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I'm not like the most palatable experience.
Sure.
And
this is more palatable than usual.
It is.
In my mind.
It is. But, it's a double-edged sword. I feel like people know me because of Agalock.
Yeah, right.
But then everybody just wants Agalock from me.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, well, this isn't fucking Cascadian black metal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm really proud of it.
Oh,
it
it's
was
a great project.
Huge push for me to get that done.
Good.
Oh, that's right. You've seen me a couple times.
Yeah, I've seen you, and I have one of your records.
That's right. I
Yeah.
gave you the Snares record.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
rad. I like it.
Yeah. Anyway, it was great. It was a great time. And I guess I can announce now that I am playing the Lunasa Cascadia Festival as well.
Wow.
So, as Moonbladder.
That's
That'll be
in
good.
July or
It's in
June?
July.
Nice.
July. Yep.
Cool.
And I've actually got a bunch of stuff in the works, but nothing I can announce yet.
Okay,
All
cool.
right.
Yeah. So that's good. Amy, have you done any trips or anything lately, or anything cool, notable?
Oh, I went down to Anaheim with a couple friends for a couple days, which was fun. We were just palling around, and I'm getting ready to go to Hawaii on Monday, which is going to be
Nice.
great.
That's
We're going
great.
to go to Kauai, which I've
cool.
never been.
Nice.
But the people I'm traveling with have been multiple times, so
Good.
they have kind of a greatest hits of things that they
Nice.
want to do, and
Nice.
I've talked about for years. I'm very much looking forward to
That's
it.
great.
That'd be
Yeah,
It's
That's
relaxing.
awesome.
yeah. So I won't be back till mid-month.
Nice. Awesome.
May,
Have
yeah.
fun.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, well, great. Let's keep moving on here.
Sure.
So, yeah, for everybody that's listening, as always, you can go to the Earth and Sound store. That's earthandsound.org.
Lots of
for
merch on there, bro.
Yep. We've got, we've got Dolvin stuff. That's Nick's
Yep.
band.
Yep.
Oh.
And the synth. Got the Traveler's Rest on there, too.
Yep, Traveler's Rest on there, too, which is right up there. That's Nick's, what do you call it?
Dark Olden Synth.
Olden
it's like
synth.
medieval synth music.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Made for
Yeah.
walking and
Oh.
pints.
And smoking a pipe.
Oh, I need to get into that.
Yeah. Well, I'll show you afterwards.
Yes.
I've
Oh,
got,
this is going to be fun.
I've got copies right over there.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, so that's basically my distro area right there, plus like the stuff in this little room over there. So I've got snare stuff. I've got my buddy Scott Generic, his own project. I've got the Noble Witness stuff. Moonbladder, new Moonbladder cassettes. I've still got a few hoodies of Moonbladder left, and the I Hate Music Scum tribute design, which I'm wearing now.
And that's going to be out. That's going to be done. right?
What do you mean?
I mean, after that, it's...
Oh, yeah.
you're
No,
gonna
I'm
make
not
them
going to
more.
make those again. Yeah. So, I mean, that's how I do with most things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also have a special on the old Ramones I Hate Music hoodies. I think those are selling for like 15 or something now. I don't know.
Cool.
I'm trying to get those out of here.
I like the new one.
Yeah, I do too.
It's real cool.
Yeah,
It's a cool
especially
logo.
the back with the scum design with like Ozzy.
Let me
and
see.
Stuff. It's really great.
Oh, I
And he's
want
got
one
his
of
like
those.
favorite
That's
podcasts on the back.
Great. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so
It's
like
all hidden in there.
yeah, like the scum thing was like all the multinational corporations at the bottom, like
Yeah.
McDonald's and
Oh,
shit. So
that is
now
awesome.
it's like the Marin podcast. It's like My Favorite Murder, Dave Chang podcast. Like all
Jason,
like the
that is
big
so
like
cool.
evil podcasts.
Ah, love it.
Yeah.
And even though you're not the biggest Dio fan, he's on the back, dude.
Well,
That's nice
okay.
of you.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing. I am a big Dio fan. I really am.
Okay.
I mean, I don't go out of my way to listen to Dio, but like as a kid, he was
Sure.
huge for me. So
Holy
yeah,
diver.
I'm a big Dio fan.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't misrepresent.
Sorry,
Way to
dude.
bring that up. Way
Sorry,
to bring
dude.
that up.
Yeah, so check that shit out. Got a lot of good stuff. And as always, please email us at hate.pod.music@gmail.com. Corrections for Nick.
Yeah.
Episode ideas, like just, I don't know, send us photos, whatever you want to do.
Yep.
Speaking of which, let's get into a couple listener emails real quick.
Oh, yeah?
I only have a couple to read today.
Okay.
You may not be surprised. Our friend Sebastian from Romania.
Number one fan.
Yeah, this guy, Amy, for some backstory, I met this guy in Germany when Agalloch played last September for our very first reunion show. He came to the festival from Romania, and he's a pretty massive fan, and got to hang out with him a little bit, and now he writes into the podcast quite
Oh,
often.
I love it.
So it's great, yeah. He is supposed to be our unofficial mascot soon, or maybe official. I'm not really sure.
I think you should upgrade him to
Make it
official.
I think
official.
official.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
official as of right now.
we had invited him to do it, so I guess that makes it official.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so he wrote a bunch of stuff here. So I'm just going to kind of go through this. When it comes to food and bands, so he's referencing the Stupak episode, one stands out. It's my favorite Romanian band called Sarmale Resi,
Nice.
where sarmale is a national food and resi means cold. They should never be eaten cold, maybe reheated, as it ruins the experience. They are sour cabbage rolls with minced meat and rice filling, served with polenta. They are the greatest thing ever.
Okay.
If you haven't heard it, I suggest you should. Sarmale are of Turkish origin, but I recommend Romanian ones if you can find a Romanian restaurant in the USA.
I can't think of one. There's a Croatian restaurant in Astoria. I do know that, but that's not Romania. I
Yeah.
don't think we have any Romanian restaurants.
No.
We have a Russian restaurant, but
Yeah. We have a Romanian market down the way on Division.
yeah,
But I don't know if they have like prepared food.
they might have
They
this
might.
stuff.
They
yeah,
might.
we should go.
Check it out. Sarmale Risi are the authors of my most beloved Romanian masterpiece, Gasca de la Bloc, meaning the gang from the block,
Okay.
singing about how life developed after the end of the communist era. The solos on this song are at the Pink Floyd level and very particular or different from their general style. I can't express enough how much I recommend it.
Pink Floyd style. That means Gilmore. That
It does.
means spacey and bluesy and
Yeah.
beautiful.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, you got it. Other mentions would be my girlfriend's Claudia Rage, who's Italian. No, not Rage. I mean, it's spelled Rage. Rage, maybe? Who's Italian whenever she hears about... Oh, yeah. No, it is Rage. Okay, let me start over. This is confusing. Other mentions would be my girlfriend's Claudia Rage, who's Italian, whenever she hears about pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, that affects a lot of people
It does.
hearing about that.
I love pineapple on pizza.
I don't mind it.
I
don't
love
mind
it.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah, I grew up
really,
eating
really
it
do.
quite
People
a bit.
are very passionate about their opinions
Yeah.
on that.
Oh, I really do.
I
It's
really love it.
delicious.
It's the whole sweet and salty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Attila's Pizza Nanowar of Steel's La Polenta, Tagnarok, and Master of Pizza are a master of puppet parody. I don't
Oh my
really
God.
know about this. Speaking of parodies, there is a now dead YouTube channel called The Key of Awesome, which has shit tons of the funniest parodies, but also their own creations. One of which is a song named "Eat It, Don't Tweet It." I can't see the food. Wow. Can you move your tits? Gets me every time. Wow. Well, thank you for that, Sebastian. That's great.
Sebastian.
Thanks,
Amazing.
Sebastian.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's great. He sent me a couple other things, but it's just kind of a back and forth. So, yeah. Thank you again, Sebastian. Really appreciate your support. Okay. Last email. This is from Michael Demers. He wrote to us before, and I identified him as the guitarist for Merciful Fate, which is not true.
Not true. It's close to the name. I think it's Denner.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so he wrote in. He said, "Hey guys, really loved the Hell's Heroes episode. Flowed really well, and I dug the day-to-day breakdown of the festival. I felt like I was able to live somewhat vicariously through your description of events. The story of being handed the VIP bracelet seemingly out of pity for your old man status was hilarious."
Yeah, Jason took a break, and some guy noticed his old man knees and stuff, and the guy came up to him and was just like, "Here, take my pass."
Oh, wow!
Out of sympathy,
hero.
Yeah. So we got these
we ended up with these really nice seats,
amazing seats. It was,
wow!
It was incredible.
Just because this guy held sympathy for him.
You should walk around with that look more often. See what you can get.
I need to get a walker. Or something.
Yeah.
Well, in Baltimore, you'll probably have it by day 4 or 5.
I'll need a walker there.
Be wary.
Sure. We'll be ready for that.
I think we're playing Friday, right? Yeah. So that's day 3.
That's a new announcement, actually.
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
Because My Dying Bride canceled.
I couldn't say anything about it before, but right. So My Dying Bride canceled. MDF, Agalock is replacing.
Amazing, dude.
We're headlining Friday night in Baltimore.
Amazing. Should be good.
It'll be great.
How does that ruin our plans, though? We'll have to discuss this privately.
Oh, man. Actually, it's going to ruin them a little bit, but also enhance them a little bit.
Exactly, yeah.
And I'll tell you about that later.
Okay, cool.
Where in Baltimore? Where's that?
It's
like right downtown.
Yeah,
it's.
I used to live there.
That's right.
It's called Soundstage or something.
Soundstage, and there's
there's a fountain in the middle.
Yes. It's huge. Yeah.
There's these kind of venues around the fountain there.
Yep.
Yeah, we're playing like that outdoor stage in between the buildings.
Okay, they're doing that again this year.
Where we saw Obituary.
I wasn't sure.
Pretty sure that's where we're.
That's
kind of
playing towards the Inner Harbor. Is it the Harbor area, or is that up? Not sure.
I don't know my Baltimore.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I forgot that. I forgot that you lived there.
Yeah, a lot has changed since I've lived there. That was like 90s, late 90s,
early 2000s,
early aughts. So it's probably different and also still the same.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I would imagine.
Yeah.
So Agalock's doing that. So headlining Friday night, I think, at the outdoor venue.
Yep.
I think.
Cool.
Awesome, dude.
Replacing My Dying Bride, which is bittersweet.
Yes.
I've seen them before. Nick.
No, they're on my bucket list.
Yeah.
So
they're having some kind of internal issues. I was told that they're having internal issues, but I was also told that they were all fans of Agalock and they were stoked that we were replacing them.
Okay, good.
So that's good.
That's great.
I think
we have their blessing.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And I think the fans will be just as happy to see you guys. So.
I don't want to make any judgments, but it seems like people are bummed about My Dying Bride, but happy about Agalock.
Yep.
So, and it's our first East Coast show since we've been back. So
so good. Great.
Yeah. It's not going to be like a full show, but still I think we are playing for like hour and 10 minutes or so. So, I mean, that's plenty. Yeah. That's all anybody needs of anything, really.
Some of your fans might disagree with you.
Yeah, sure.
Actually.
Yeah,
but at a fest, that's pretty good.
Yeah, at a fest for sure.
So. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's great.
And then John reminded me that last time we played MDF, we replaced Ulver. So, like, that's just what we do.
Oh, wow.
We just replace bands that cancel.
Bring people some joy when they get disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if
band that they wanted to see isn't going to be
can't
there.
have Ulver, you get Agalock.
Yeah.
Okay, so continuing on here, he says, I'm 51 and occasionally get the senior citizen discount at Dunkin' Donuts. I never protest. My festival experience is slim to none at this point. Haven't been to one since the New England Metal and Hardcore Fest in the early 2000s. I stopped going when it turned primarily into the Hardcore and Metalcore Fest. Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, good choice, Michael. Yeah. Fuck that shit.
Fuck that shit.
No, I mean, hardcore, of course, great. Metalcore, no.
Yeah, but that's what was unique about Hell's Heroes and the Baltimore Fest is that it doesn't really cater to those types of bands because most heavy metal festivals in America are that type of metalcore shit.
Yeah.
Seems to be popular.
Yeah. The one I would really like to go to someday is Roadburn in the Netherlands, of course.
Yeah.
Have either of you guys been to that? Yes, I played that 2012, maybe?
Oh, wow.
That was like, I've talked about this in the podcast a few times, so I'm not going to go into it too much, but that was a dream lineup for me. It was us, Disembowelment, Ulver, Voivod, and Killing Joke.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I just got chills. That's rad.
Yeah, it was a great night. Great night. Roadburn is amazing. It's probably the best run festival I've ever played.
And a lot of bands that are able to, the bigger bands are able to curate their...
Yes, they do like the curation stuff.
So they could bring in bands that they like.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I think when Voivod did it, they brought in Die Kreutzen. They just like, they get to hand pick like the other artists that are involved.
Amazing.
It's a great, Walter is the best. He's a great dude. It's a great festival. Yeah.
I have not been. I'd always wanted to go to that one.
Yeah. Now it's a lot different now.
Yeah, it is. I'm not sure. I think I missed the peak.
Yeah, but I respect it a lot because it used to be like more like metal, but Walter's whole thing is like trying to get like what is new and heavy. So he's tending to like get away from metal and getting into more stuff like clipping or Dalek or like horrorcore stuff or like electronics, like power electronics, which I deeply respect.
Yeah.
Like I think Roadburn used to be more Agalloch, now it's more Moonbladder, which I totally understand and I get that. He's trying new things and I would like to go again.
Sure.
I think Moonbladder would fit. I just don't know if Agalloch would anymore.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a great fest. To shift gears, I also have to say, Jason, I admire your honesty when admitting you're not into certain bands that every metalhead is supposed to be into, like Iron Maiden and Cirith Ungol. Okay, well, Iron Maiden, again, I deeply respect Iron Maiden. It's just not my thing. Cirith Ungol, I don't give a shit about them at all.
Well, yeah.
Didn't they play at Hell's Heroes?
Yep. It's like they're doing their last tour kind of thing.
We didn't watch them, though, did we?
No. Well, were we up on the balcony? I think we were, and you were talking. I was watching.
I was hanging with Tanner, and
I was
were
watching. Yeah, I was watching.
Yeah. Oh, God, fuck this guy. He says, mine is Cathedral. Nah, fuck you, man. Michael.
Oh, that he doesn't like?
Yeah.
That every other metalhead? What the
Yeah.
fuck's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, fuck. No, that's cool, Michael, I guess, if you have bad taste.
I appreciate your honesty, Michael. But fuck you, man.
Yeah. I've always absolutely hated Lee Dorian's vocals. Again.
Wow.
Man,
No.
jeez. Wow. One small idea I have for your show is to maybe mention what you guys are listening to at the moment. I've always loved the Writers Playlist section of Metal Maniacs.
Yeah.
And then he signs off with, unfortunately, I'm not Merciful Fate's guitarist, as speculated in a previous episode. And to spoil it even further, my name is pronounced Demers.
Okay.
Nice. Well, thanks for that, Michael.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Listening to lately, I'll go first.
Oh, shit.
New Thief, Bleed
Right.
Memory.
Yep.
Highly recommend.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep.
Album of the year for me.
Wow. AOTY.
I always have to look at my phone.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's like, I'm under pressure here. Let's see, what am I listening to? New My Dying Bride, speaking of.
Oh, I haven't listened to it yet.
Great.
Is it good?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is really good. They're very consistent in my mind. And he's growling more.
Is he?
Growling.
Okay.
Oh, man. Like
That's
half
good.
the album's growls.
That's great.
Incredible.
I've been listening to a little bit of Aphex Twin because it's a band I've never really explored too much.
They're cool.
Yeah, I'm slowly getting into it.
There's a reason people like that band.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Been listening to a lot of Forbidden.
Nice. Why don't you open up your gift there?
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, let's open this live.
I love this. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Nick brought me a gift from Japan.
Oh, nice, Nick.
Yep.
Look at that cool wrapping, too.
I think, oh shit, is this the one? I am going to die if this is what I think it is.
Oh, it just made me think of it.
It is! Holy shit!
I listened to you,
Oh
bro.
my god! This is like the sweetest, I'm tearing up. This is like the sweetest gift. I cannot believe this.
Jason told a
dude.
story about this tape.
This is it. This is it.
So I
Oh
sought
my
it out for
God.
him.
I cannot believe this.
I know.
That
It's
is
the same
so
one,
sweet.
hopefully. Yeah.
Well, it's what a great segue. It's like we planned it.
Yeah.
So we recently saw this band Forbidden
Yes.
at Hell's Heroes.
Yes.
When I was growing up, they were never like my favorite band or anything, but I was introduced to them at a very young stage in like my metal pursuits. And I got this tape like in a bargain bin somewhere, and this was like 92, 91, something like that, and like way before I could have easy access to anything. Or I found this tape, and I just instantly became obsessed with because it's a live tape, and I was just like, I will never get to go to a place like San Francisco, and I will never get to like be in a band like this, and I will never be able to like perform a show like this, or like even like see a band like this, or like have these experiences. Like growing up in rural Montana, it just all felt so untouchable and unreachable.
Yeah.
And it was like I would carry this cassette with me, like as like a reminder of like the world is really big. Aww. There's a lot of stuff out there, and like over time it was like you can achieve these things, and so like it became like a totem to me, like a thing that I carried in my jacket with me.
Maybe it's the
years.
same one, dude.
It probably is.
Could be. It definitely is.
That'd be amazing.
No, but I would like spend hours like just staring at this and being like, this is all I want in my life, is to have a band like this, to play shows like this, to live a life like this.
Amazing.
And
that's poetic. Very poetic.
That's
I have
so
no
special.
idea what happened to this tape. It just, over the years, it got lost or whatever. But I was telling Nick about it because I finally got to see him for the first time at Hell's Heroes, and then on the podcast I mentioned the story too.
Yeah.
Nick, seriously, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I can't even believe that you found it.
I can't believe I found it either. I was like, that's the tape he was talking about.
In Japan too.
It's one thing to like think about it, but it's a whole other thing to actually be able to find it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
what are the chances?
Yeah. Dude, thank you so much.
You're welcome,
that is
bro. Of course.
Amazing.
I'm so glad I got to bear witness to that.
Yeah, it's so
It was
cool.
really sweet.
Yeah. Amy, have you been listening to anything lately of note?
Well, I've kind of just been listening to the same stuff I always listen to. There's a band, I mean, I don't know if it's apropos to your audience or not, but
it doesn't matter.
It's a Finnish hardcore band called Vorse.
Oh, I don't know.
Love them. Love
really?
them. They came out. They don't have a ton of music, but they had an album in 2022 that I think I like the best. I'm pretty sure I like that one the best. It's the one I listen to the most, and they have 2 other albums before that. But
how do you spell it?
VVORSE. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it in the correct way, but it's either Vorse or Vorse or
right.
Check that out.
Finland has a really strong hardcore scene.
Yeah.
Like Truvik Cadet.
Yeah.
That's all I can name.
Pretty good, dude.
Yeah. And I know about those bands through like the Finnish black metal bands, like Impaled Nazarene or Death Metal like Amorphous or whatever. Yeah, that's really cool. I'll have to check that out.
Oh, Twin Tribes, dude. Still listening to that shit.
Dude, so good. Do you know Twin Tribes?
I do not. No.
It's like the Depeche Mode or something.
Twin Tribes.
But even a little heavier, maybe. For whatever, it appeals to metalheads, but...
it's gothy. They closed out the Hell's Heroes Festival. It was like the after party thing.
Yeah.
And we saw them there, and it's gothy, goth rock.
Yeah.
Super catchy.
Nice.
It's so good. Yeah, it's really great.
Been listening to that a lot. I got that on vinyl.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Like their Bandcamp.
Nice. I should do that too. Damn, that's great.
Give me some new great music to listen to when I go home today.
Yeah, I think you dig it. It's really.
I'm
cool.
going to load you up with merch before you go.
Oh, I can't wait.
Listen to that.
Me too.
But that'll be physical media. But
yeah.
Do you have a tape player in your truck?
I don't have a tape player. I have a CD player, but I have a tape player at home.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I kind of want to take my newer car and put a cassette player in it. I think that'd be fun.
I had one in my last car. It was really fun.
Yeah, man, I got to do that.
You probably could.
Yeah.
I mean,
does anybody go backwards? Usually they go forwards,
Well, I know my buddy Jeff Wagner, like he either did get a CD player installed in his new car or he was talking about it because he has so much physical media.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So, Amy, usually we have a Spotify playlist, an I Hate Music playlist that then the listeners can go to and listen to songs that we're talking about.
Oh, I love that.
Related to what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's why I asked you if you had an account, because then after the show we'll add stuff like Twin Tribes, Twin Tribes,
new
band,
yeah, and Vorse or whatever that is, stuff like that.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So people can check it out.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, let's take a quick break and then get into the meat of it, talking about the Academy and the Grammys.
This is Pete Lee from Lawnmower Death, and you're listening to I Hate Music with my good mate Jason Walton. He's a lovely boy.
You did a podcast with him one time?
I did. Yeah, I did a podcast with Pete, and another story, Lawnmower Death were one of my favorite bands growing up. And it's the same type of thing. They had at the end of their album, Oh Crikey, they had 5 live songs. And it was the same experience where I'm like, this was recorded in London or England somewhere, like someplace I'll never go. Like I'll never meet these people, blah, blah, blah. And then, fast forward 20 some years, I'm friends with them. And, I was on stage with them in England a few years ago.
Dressed up like a sheep?
Yeah, I was the sheep for their sheep dip. It was great.
What?
Bloodstock Festival, yeah. I befriended these guys 2000, I don't know.
Just on Facebook
10
or something?
Right? Well, no, Agalloch played a show in Norway, and the promoter was backstage, like, getting our stuff together, and, like, we're talking to him. And he's like, excuse me, I'm going to change my shirt. And he took his shirt off, and he had a giant Lawnmower Death tattoo on his chest.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Like, everybody hates that band, like, except for me and you.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the? And he's like, oh, I do all their art. Like, I'm the art director for them.
Wow.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh, they're the best guys. Like, let me introduce you. And so we got connected via Facebook. Just so happened that Agalloch and Lawnmower Death were playing the same festival, like, 2 years later. And they asked me to come on stage and be their sheep. So they dressed up in a sheep costume.
Oh, my gosh.
And I got to run around the stage while they were playing. And that just happens to be the song that my high school band covered.
Stop it.
Yeah, because I was such a big fan. And then here I am 20 years later on stage. Anyway,
Jason, that's awesome.
They're the greatest guys.
Yeah.
Pete's great. And I had, I don't know what episode number it was, but I had Pete on right before I took a break, and it was cool. It was a great conversation, and then afterwards he told me that it was his favorite Lawnmower Death interview ever because I actually cared and I actually knew my stuff.
Yeah. So, Jason, that's sweet.
Yeah, it was great.
And they put out a new album since then.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The new album's great.
Oh, that's so cool.
I have first album in 30 years or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
25 years.
I have to admit, I was kind of skeptical. You know, reunion albums sometimes.
Yeah,
but it's great. Awesome. I really
that's cool.
love it. Yeah. Yeah.
We could do a whole podcast about that. We should.
Of their reunion, or
that was
about bands. We have kind of.
That was our first show back.
We have talking about reunions. We did a reunion of the podcast, and we also talked about bands that do reunions and the emotions behind that.
Right.
Sometimes they don't pull it off.
Yeah. And it was around the same time that Agalloch got back together too, so it all just kind of wrapped into each other. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the Recording Academy a little bit.
Yeah,
Great.
What is that?
Yeah, so I joined about a year. Oh, it's been almost 2 years now.
Yeah,
that I joined.
Okay, what was your initial interest, or what? I mean, all we know as the public is like there's a Grammy Award every year or whatever.
Yeah, that's all I knew too.
Yeah,
and then my friend Toby Driver from KO. He joined.
Okay, and
he was like, "Hey, you should look into this." My initial thought was like, "Well, there's no way I would get into this. This is like for Beyonce, you know?"
Yeah.
But he's like, no, like and he convinced me, like, just apply. You'll get in. He's like, if I got in, you'll get in. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. Like, I'll try, like, whatever. I figured, like, I'll shoot first and ask questions later. Like, I'll apply and then figure out what it's about.
Yeah, nice.
But Toby was like, no, it's so much more than the Grammys. It's education. It's, there's so many more things than just like what the people know. So yeah, I've been a part of it for 2 years now. Gone to 2 Grammys now, which was great. The events, the holiday parties, all that stuff, and that's how I got to meet you, Amy. I met you. You were actually the first person I met.
Yeah.
At the holiday party, not the last one, but 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I spent the whole party just trying to figure out, like, do I meet somebody? Like, I don't know anybody here. Like, what am I doing? My whole family's there.
Yeah.
And we're about to leave. And then I asked the guy taking photos, like, I'm new here. I don't know anybody. And he was like, oh my God, let me introduce you to Timmy. And
yes.
then right away, Timmy was like, where are you from? And I'm like, Portland. I'm brand new. I don't know anybody.
It's like, go see Amy.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, Amy is in Portland. Like, go meet Amy. And then we met, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fast friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've kind of been mentoring me in this process of getting to know the ropes of the Academy and what it is and what it isn't. And I feel like there's still like a ton for me to learn.
Yes.
But so far, the thing that's really impressed me by it is that everybody I've met has been completely awesome so far. I haven't met one person where I'm like, oh, that person's kind of like dull or a dud. And what I also really love is usually like in my everyday life, I'll tell people like, oh, I sold out the Crystal Ballroom, and people are like, what the fuck? But like at those events, people are like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're surrounded by successful artists and stuff.
Yeah. Like when I met Andy, he was asking like, oh, did you play this show, or like where are you playing, whatever? And I was like, oh yeah, we just played the Crystal Ballroom. And Aaron's like, yeah, he sold it out in like a week or whatever. And then he's like, when I was touring with Tracy Chapman, it's like, okay, yeah. But it's
casual though. It's
yeah.
not. I don't often feel like people are bragging.
I don't think anybody's bragging. It's just sharing experiences.
Yep.
And my point is, I love it where it's just like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what you're doing is cute. That's cool. Like, yeah. I'm the bass player for Heart.
Yeah. Or like Sue Ennis, who's the president of our chapter now. Yeah. She wrote a lot of Heart songs.
Yeah.
From some of their biggest records, and she's just one of the coolest, most badass women in general, but she's the president of our Pacific Northwest chapter.
That's amazing.
And she teaches up at Shoreline in Seattle, and it's just an amazing. So I think what you're speaking to is, there's the show, and that's kind of how the public interfaces with the Grammys.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
But the Grammys is, when people are thinking the Academy, I used to think it was like a bunch of people in tuxedos that they were thanking. It's the people that are hosting the show, but the Academy is the membership. Like it is the people who are members of...
Yeah, but I always thought that was like the president of Capitol Records and like, the people that are at the highest of
turns out
the record industry.
Turns out it's guys like Jason and I.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, it's just, and they, and to be fair, the Recording Academy has made a lot of really overt, decisions in the past 5 to 10 years to make their membership more representative of the people who are actually creating music and consuming music. That's smart. So, they changed, some of the rules, and I think some of that preceded even my involvement, which is not that much longer than you. I've been involved for about 5 years.
Okay. Yeah.
And similarly, got encouraged to join the Recording Academy by my studio partner, and was also feeling like I don't really want to be a part of this. I don't really know what it is. Yeah. It doesn't seem like it's for me. He encouraged me to do it, and I did it. And then I started going to events in Portland and meeting people and realizing that, these people are all so cool and interesting and helpful. And it was really during the pandemic times, during lockdown, that this group of people in the Pacific Northwest chapter became a lifeline because everything went remote. And I really got to build relationships with people because our chapter is geographically diverse too. Most of the chapters in the Recording Academy are like a place.
Yeah.
It's
like LA,
Nashville, LA, New York, and we are Pacific North. We're a region, so we're Hawaii, we're Alaska, we're Montana, we're Idaho, we're Washington, we're Oregon, we're a big area, and so because it went remote, there was a lot of more opportunities to build relationships with people living in different places, which was super rad.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. And personally, like so far, I like it that it's so big and diverse.
Yeah.
Like our geographical footprint. Like I haven't met a lot of people yet, but the first Grammys I went to, I remember just like seeing some of the people from Hawaii. And it's like, that's so cool. It's so different than Portland. It's really cool to have all of us together.
Yeah, I agree.
So the Recording Academy, and like you said, it's like it's the Grammys, but also there's like Grammy U.
Yeah. So
can you talk a little bit about that? I don't really know much about Grammy U.
Yeah. So I'll break it down, and I'll start with Grammy U because that's, I think, probably one of two of my favorite.
Okay.
They're committees. So when you become a member of the Recording Academy, you're a member and you get to vote on, and I can talk a little bit more about the voting process, but you're basically voting on nominees, and then you're voting on the final people who end up becoming the individuals or the bands that win the awards at the show. And if you join the board and as part of your membership, you can engage and interact with different committees. Okay. Each chapter basically has the same committees. I don't think anybody has different committees, but there's things like the producers and engineer wing, which I love. That's my first favorite. And then Grammy U, which is a student-based branch of the Recording Academy that engages with people who are on a music track or musicians or they don't necessarily have to be studying music in school, but are musically inclined, but students and in college. Right. And they do a lot of really cool programming with them in different areas, which is cool. A lot of neat opportunities for them to do things, interact with different studios, do studio tours, or interact with, you went to a really cool Grammy U event up in Seattle.
The Leve Soundcheck.
Yeah, they do sound checks with really famous people and give young people opportunities to be inspired, which is really awesome. Real cool. But there's also an advocacy committee that they are, they do a lot of lobbying for musicians' rights and the rights of the music industry in general. They write or help co-author bills. They go testify before Congress for certain things that they're trying to promote. So there's an advocacy wing, there's an education wing, there's a singer-songwriter committee as well that you can interact with that does all sorts of cool things related to singer-songwriters. Am I missing anything?
Do you have to be? You have to apply to be part of these, or how does like the general public get involved?
Yeah, so the general public the general public really is involved with the show, and that's it. So if you are a general public individual who is a music creator, then you can apply.
Okay.
So
what does that mean? I'm working in my basement. I put out a demo and I can get in, or
not necessarily. I think they're looking for people. They're looking for you to have credits that you have created music, that you have credits for being a music creator, whether you're a producer or a musician or an engineer. And I don't think you need to have extensive credits, but you need to kind of show that you are a professional in the music industry, and that's who they're looking for to be part of their membership.
They want people in the industry to be talking about it and stuff. So,
yeah. They want, the idea with the Grammy Awards is that it is the only music award that is awarded by your peers.
Right.
And so they want your peers to be active.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think that, I don't think a lot of people realize that. I think people think it's based on like record sales.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
It's, and I think that that's like something that just most people don't understand. But I think that's really cool. And like when I vote, you're only allowed to vote in like however many categories that you are involved in.
Right.
I see.
I see.
And you self-select. You self-select, but you
self-select, but
you're probably not picking jazz
right
as your expertise, but
I'm not picking jazz. I'm not picking spoken word or gospel.
Right.
And you're not allowed to vote on every award. You only get like a certain amount of these key things within these genres that you work in or about.
Mm-hmm.
And you're able to put forward nominees within those groups, or
so
does somebody else do that?
No, that's another membership benefit is so when you, and it's a reason it's was previously a driving factor for people to become members because then you can nominate your projects. You
can promote things.
That's right. Yeah. And so really all of the nominations come from artists or labels. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Basically. It's interesting what happened this year with Killer Mike. It's like I think that's something that probably it wasn't on. I don't listen to a lot of hip hop, but it wasn't on my radar, and like it be getting a Grammy like that and him winning the award, I think puts it in the spotlight for a lot of people, and that they check it out a lot more. But maybe it was just introduced through a core group of people within the industry. I don't know. Maybe it was a big album too. I'm not sure.
Well, I don't know.
Was it a huge selling album, or was it just all of a sudden?
I'm not sure. I mean, I listened to that record quite a bit before the Grammys because I love Killer Mike and I love Run the Jewels.
Yeah.
So I was very familiar with it.
Okay. So it may have been.
Yeah. I don't really know. Yeah.
Yeah. For me though, it puts it on the radar because it's
right
regarded as a best album of the year.
He swept the category.
Which is not easy to do. I mean, there's a lot of people voting. I mean, I guess, so basically it's, when there's 2 rounds of voting for members. The first round of voting is you're voting on everything that comes in, which is like upwards of 20,000 releases. Like it's an insane amount of music, and it's a huge time obligation for members who are voting to spend time going through all of that. And so that's the first round, and those then become the nominees for the final round, which is what ends up getting voted on. That's the second round of voting that members do. You vote on what passes through that first round, gets whittled down.
Then? Still hundreds? Or?
I mean, it's hundreds and hundreds of releases that are then assigned to different genre categories. And then you get to that final voting round, and that gets whittled down to 5 in each category. So when you're voting on the finals, one of those 5 is going to be the ones that get awarded a Grammy at the show.
So it's kind of a miracle that, like, Killer Mike, for instance, would win multiple awards like that.
Yeah. That's the word I was going to use, miracle.
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Goddamn miracle.
It's God, yeah. Yeah, it's just like ICP.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So rainbows are miracles, and so are magnets.
Magnets, how do they work? Nobody knows. So, like, I mean, when people approach me, people don't approach me about the Grammys. When people ask me, like, oh, you're at the Grammys? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, the biggest question I get asked is, like, do you think art should this happen in art where there's like a contest of like, and like, how do you judge what is best?
Yeah. And who's to say that this is better than the other?
And who's to say? And I think everybody knows, even the people who are highly involved know that that's not really, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to like judge things like that.
Right.
So I don't know if I really care to like get into that too much, but like,
art is subjective, right? So.
It's all subjective. Like, do you have thoughts on that though? I mean, because it's like, I do. Part of me can defend it, and part of me can't.
It's a popularity contest.
Yeah,
and I will sit and watch those shows. I've watched them since I was a kid. There's something about it that's entertaining to me, and but there's also something kind of shitty about it too. I think that winning those awards for the people that are winning them, that seem genuinely stoked and honored and thrilled to be winning such an achievement that's so notable,
especially knowing it's coming from your peers. That's a pretty big deal.
It's a big deal. And the membership is huge, and for you to kind of come to be held up in that way, I mean, I can't even imagine what that would feel like to be on that. I mean, to me personally, it'd be mortifying. I quite frankly never want. Personally, I don't even know if I could do it. Like, it seems so wild.
You just have your back to the crowd like Jim Morrison or something.
I would have. I mean, I don't even know. I'd probably pass out. But what a wild thing. Even just to be a Grammy nominated artist is a high honor. To just have your name in that pool of people.
I mean, coming from the general public, it's always the popular things that it seems to be winning, Taylor Swift or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Billy Joel or whatever,
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that like those records, though. And, I think there's also a visibility thing, too, right? When you're your general membership and you're getting your opportunity to vote, and you have 20,000, you don't have 20,000, but you have thousands of records. Sometimes you're just like, well, I don't know what all this is. I don't have time to listen to it. I'm just going to vote for the stuff I know. So there's name recognition that happens too. Whether or not the merit of the record is,
I think, with social media and there being so many genres now and all these things, there's no radio. It's probably really more difficult than ever to choose something that kind of everybody can agree on. That's good,
Yeah.
Because, kids are into death metal, dubstep or whatever, and that's all they listen to, and they're not going to even know of the new Billy Joel or whoever is out there. So
yeah. For me, I'm still a little skeptical of the whole situation, and I think that I think everybody has to be like a little bit, but then when I attended the Grammys, And just like what you said, like I saw so many people that were like, it's, some woman from Alabama that has been playing churches her whole life, and all of a sudden she's accepting a Grammy that her peers have, like voted for her, and now she's winning a Grammy, and like how that changes her life and how it changes her trajectory and her career. Or like I saw some like high school band from Tennessee win some award, and they're all up there sobbing, and they're like, their families are there. They all flew out there because they got nominated, and they won. And you don't see that stuff's televised, but that's like the pre-ceremony. Yeah, and cool. There's all. You can be really skeptical of like Justin Timberlake or Beyonce winning or whatever, but like those situations, those are just. I can't even explain how cool it is to witness, and like being like we're all sitting together, so like when Killer Mike won, he was sitting like 2 rows in front of me.
Amazing, yeah.
And he would get up and he accepted the award. And just like, I mean, Killer Mike is not a nobody, but still just like, it was very validating to him to like come back at his age and like do this thing solo. And you could see how much it meant to him and his crew and his people there and his wife or whatever. Everybody was just like, and that's why he would get up there and screaming like, "You can't tell me, I'm too old." It was like, I got chills.
Yeah, that is cool.
And just being in a room with so many people that have dedicated their life to this craft, and popularity contest aside, all that stuff aside, it's people who they may not be choosing the way that I would make art why I make art, but they're still.
They're putting their everything into it.
Yeah, even if it's Justin Timberlake or Harry Styles, like they are putting their everything into this, and their peers are celebrating that.
You have to respect that. Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, the Grammys. I knew going to the Grammys would be cool, but I didn't understand it would be so emotional.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I teared up during. I mean, and last year when Tracy Chapman came out,
oh my gosh,
I had no idea that was going to happen. And I'm like, I literally did one of those things where you kind of like hitch up a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was an entire day of seeing music celebrated by everybody you can think of. And then Tracy Chapman comes out and plays Fast Car.
Amazing.
Or the year before, it's like, Run DMC and Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, that was an incredible show.
Like, what the like? How are these?
Yeah.
Like, how is this happening?
Was that like the 50th anniversary of hip hop?
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember that.
And the production value, like I've never seen.
Oh, the production is
anything
incredible for the show.
Yeah,
and just to see how they pull the show off. I mean, because really, you're an audience member at the show, but the show is not. I mean, you're there and they have a live audience. But the production is for television. So you're seeing all of the, behind the scenes, and you're seeing, Trevor Noah change his suit just like down, the camera's not on him, but he's changing his outfit right in front of you.
And how they probably have different stages and stuff.
They have generally 2 different stages, sometimes 3 that they're shooting from. And it's cool.
And just the performances, like even like people I don't care about, like Miley Cyrus, like, she killed it.
Oh, she really did.
She did great.
Yeah.
And like, I don't like her music. I don't really know anything about her, but
she had fun.
She did a really, really great job.
Yeah.
And I've seen some performances there that were just transcendent. Like I don't know how to pronounce this woman's name. Arouge Aftab.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's coming here in January.
Oh, she's great.
She's playing the Aladdin, and Aaron and I are going.
Oh, that's so cool. Was she in the pre-show?
She was the pre-show, not this year, but the last year.
The year before. Oh, she's rad. I vote. She gets my votes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was incredible. She was playing with Ravi Shankar's daughter.
Oh, cool.
Norah Jones.
No, not the one you're thinking of, the other one. But yeah, it was heart-wrenching, just so beautiful.
Oh, man.
And, at the pre-show, like, you get to sit wherever. So, like, they're performing right in front of you.
Oh, that's amazing.
At the actual Grammys, I'm like way in the nosebleeds, but it's still an amazing experience.
It's an amazing experience. It really is.
What's kept you doing it? You've been doing it 5 years.
I've been doing it 5 years. So similarly to Jason, I ended up joining, not really understanding what I was getting involved in, and then went to a couple events, met cool people. The membership coordinator before Timmy was this fella named Jordan, and I really, really just vibed with him. And he's the one who ended up convincing me to run for the board.
Okay.
And it's really the board that was the hook for me. I mean, the membership's easy. You pay your dues, you're a member, you vote. It's fun. I think there's an entertainment value to me to vote. I love the show.
I love the voting.
The voting's
really fun.
Really fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, and I take it seriously. But I also just think it's just a cool experience to see how it all works.
Yeah,
you
and
probably
to
expose
contribute.
yourself to music that you've
Oh, yeah.
not ever heard.
100%.
I discovered a lot of stuff
Oh,
that
that's
I'd
kinda
never
cool.
even heard of before. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
And I find myself like listening to different types of music now because I'm being exposed to it through the voting process and from the Grammys
Yep.
too.
Same. The board is fun. Prior to being involved in audio, I was a social worker, and so there's a part of me that's very service oriented, and so I enjoy just rolling my sleeves up and contributing and helping in that way. And being, I was mentored as well I was vice president for a year of our chapter, and it's fun.
Nice.
It's
That's
fun.
awesome.
So there's a relationship aspect for me now. That's like I have community there.
Yeah.
But there's also, there's professional advantages as well. Like, I'm part of this producers and engineering wing. I've been the co-chair of the P&E wing. And when you're the co-chair, you then have access to the P&E wings across the country. And so you're on calls and in meetings with people that are in the LA market, that are in the New York market. And so you're meeting people remotely, but still meeting people.
Have you developed like relationships through that?
Yes,
That's cool.
100%.
Yeah,
There's a women's P&E wing that is amazing. That's a really strong community that I engage with very regularly. We do virtual happy hours with like the San Francisco chapter. It's just, there's just cool ways of interacting with your regional community, but also just nationally too, which is dope.
Yeah.
And if you travel and go to a different place, you can, if you want to, plug in. If you're a member or a board member or whatever, you can just get involved or send an email to the membership coordinator of that chapter where you're going, and they can connect you with studios or other people that can show you around the city and make connections that way. So it's
cool.
just cool in that way.
You should look up somebody in Kauai.
I should.
Oh yeah.
Actually, this is very much. There is actually a women's P&E wing call on Tuesday, and I really want to do it, but I had really set a parameter for myself that I'm just not gonna
Detach.
like. I am not doing workshop. I might still do that call because I love it so hard, but I really am going to try to decouple from work next week.
Yeah.
How much time do you dedicate, do you think? Like per week?
To the Recording Academy?
Yeah.
Not that much anymore. I'm phasing out. So this is my board term. I'm terming out in May.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't rerun for my slot. Partly because I've been really active in the last 5 years and it was taking up a lot of time.
I bet, yeah.
And I wanted to get involved with other organizations. I recently joined the board for Friends of Noise, which is a really cool nonprofit in Portland.
Oh, wow.
And they do a lot of advocacy for all age venues for youth.
Nice.
And I've been wanting to get involved with that organization for a long time, but just didn't really have the bandwidth to do that and the Recording Academy. So, and I also just think that boards turning over is healthy for board culture.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I think that's important so that other people get a shot at opportunities and having to take up space and have their voice there. So so I'm kind of backing out now. Hardly any.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a P&E wing committee that I like to dip in on, and then the women's group that I like to dip in on. That's about it. And then if there's events in Portland, there's usually at least one event per year in Portland that they put on somewhere. That's fun.
The events are so cool.
Yeah, the events are rad.
They're great.
And I go up to Seattle for the Christmas thing too.
The party.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last event that we had in Portland was that MLC. Was that what it's called? I've got I've got it right here.
Was the licensing, that one was really, really cool.
That was really cool, talking about like my music licensing.
Yeah, it was really, I learned a lot.
Yeah. And then before that, the one you missed was the Emma Ruth Rundle one.
Yeah.
And that was great too.
Yeah.
It was just like opportunities like that you just don't get.
Yeah.
To see somebody intimately like that, you mean? Like a band?
Yeah, but this was like this was more of a talk.
It was a talk, so it was the concept, but I was also in Hawaii when that
That's true, you
happened.
were,
I was
yeah.
away. So they got Sonny DePerry, and who recorded and mixed Emma Ruth Rundle's album, and then Adam Gonzalez, who had mastered it, did the interview of them, and they just kind of talked about the collaboration between the three of them and how that process went.
Yeah, it was super
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
And like Erin went with me, and well, she goes to like all the things that she can because she really loves it too. And like she's become friends with Timmy, and she's and Jessica, and she's starting to get to know the people. And she just, the events are so cool. They're just like so cool that like Erin loves going. But I was kind of like, this one's going to be potentially really nerdy.
Yeah.
They're going to talk about like, the reverbs in the barn that Emma Ruth Rundle recorded in, and like all of those like technical things. But she still like had a blast.
Nice.
It's just like, it's a really cool atmosphere. I ran into an engineer I worked with on the Karada record years ago. He seconded on the Karada record. I hadn't talked to him since.
Oh, get out.
And and he works at Howard Halls here.
Oh,
and
cool.
Yeah, do you know Matt Larimer?
I do, yeah.
You know Matt?
Yeah, Matt's cool.
Yeah. So he seconded on our Karada record. And so I talked with him for a little bit, and we
that's
connected.
rad.
And then Liam from Mizmor was there too.
Liam's fun.
Yeah, and I was like, we're both kind of eyeing each other. Like, I'd never talked to this guy before, but I was like, I recognize that guy. And I think he was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mizmor. And he's like, Agalok. Like, yeah, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Fun.
that was a really cool talk. And I mean, I love free food and free drinks too. It's great.
Same.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Erin always makes fun of me because when we first went to the first holiday party up in Seattle, I walked in. You get like your name tag, and then someone took my coat, and I just made note of it. I'm like, I never go to events where like someone takes your coat, and so now Erin's like her yardstick for me, like being pampered, is like someone taking my coat.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
I love that.
Oh, that's really fun.
Yeah. So, but like aside from the Grammys and Grammy U, like I'm struggling with the name of it. There is some kind of program with health insurance for
Music Cares.
Music Cares. That's
Music
it.
Cares
Yes.
is amazing. Music Cares has helped a number of my friends who have struggled with various serious illnesses.
Because
and
musicians don't have shit for
they
insurance.
don't have shit for
Yeah, of
insurance.
course.
It's a real thing.
That's
and
how Chuck Schuldiner died, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was, so early internet days when he was sick. This guy was in death, and he was trying
yeah.
He was trying to get people, on the internet to give him money and stuff because he had no insurance. And of course, we all chipped in. He still died. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But man, it's a problem.
It's a problem, and crowdfunding is great and paid into those as well. But Music Cares is they shell out some bucks for people, and they
really
do,
great.
and they'll even just do dental clinics, different community dental clinics, which I don't think they've had one in Portland.
What's the criteria for applying or whatever? Like if you're a musician.
You just apply.
Yeah.
You just apply if you're a musician. You just apply. It's
Yeah.
not contingent. It's not. You don't have to be a member.
Okay, yeah. That's what I'm
Yeah.
wondering.
Yeah. But I think as members, we get an opportunity to apply
Yeah.
as well. I haven't done it because I have insurance through
Yeah.
other means. But
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but they every time I re-up, they're like, "Oh, do you want to do this?" And
Yeah.
That's awesome.
yeah, it's a really cool thing.
I'm glad they're able to help people like that because,
Yeah.
what a problem.
I mean, I think that's the reason I wanted to have you on, is like really demonstrate that the Academy is much more than just the Grammys.
Oh.
And the
Yeah.
Academy is working full time, all the time.
Yeah.
Not just Grammy season. Like that's just like the public face of
Yeah.
it.
How many full-time employees are there? Are there what's the deal? Is it all volunteer or?
No. Each chapter has paid staff,
Okay.
and they'll have, a director, and they'll have a membership coordinator. Some of the bigger chapters have additional staff. The smaller chapters have less. Like Pacific Northwest has 2 paid employees.
Okay, yeah.
And then the rest is all volunteer.
Yeah. Wow.
But the national is based out of LA, and they have a lot more employees down there. I don't know how many.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
So they do a lot of stuff other than the Grammys, helping youth with music lessons or inspiring them to create health insurance, things like that. I always find it curious, like why they don't try to promote that more for the general public to know.
I think that they do. I just don't think the general public
Cares.
tends to care or follow
Yeah,
what the Recording
suppose,
Academy is doing outside of the award show. Like, I think people just kind of, the award show sneaks up on people and you start seeing it advertised around award show time, and then you watch it or you don't, and then you kind of forget about them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's just like a thing that's a cyclical thing that happens in February. You watch the show and that's it.
Yeah.
If you follow the Recording Academy on Instagram or something like that, you might see more of this content being promoted there. But
if it weren't for his friend, like, he wouldn't have gotten involved. I mean, it seems like it's all word of mouth, basically.
It still is a bit, I think, word of mouth. And I don't think it's for lack of trying via the Recording Academy. I think they've, again, really the last 5 to 10 years, they've tried really hard to reach into different communities, different demographics, try to uplift underrepresented people working in the industry, and just try to make sure that it is as representative as they can make it. But, they're a huge, arguably pretty wealthy organization, but there's not a ton of boots on the ground other than volunteers and people on the board, people that are volunteering their time, things like that.
The people that are involved are like you guys that are busy with projects and lots of work, so you don't have time to promote.
We're doing other stuff.
We're doing other stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because it was one of those things, like, I was just like, there's no way I'm going to get in, and then I got in, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to like figure this out, like explore my options, like see what this is about, and I've loved every minute of it. And
you've been so great.
You put yourself out there, dude.
Yeah, you really
cool
did.
Yeah, I feel like I'm generally pretty good about putting myself out there, especially if it's something that I'm really interested in or curious about. And really, I can't say enough good things about my experiences so far. I mean, everybody I've met, they're like such badasses. Like, it's just like Timmy is like the coolest.
She's
she is
the best.
Just,
and so is Jessica. Both of them are I respect, and our board is great. Like, it's just, it's a lot. I personally, and I've interfaced with a lot of other chapters too, and they're all lovely people, but I think the Pacific Northwest is the best. They just are. We have a reputation for just being really great and cool.
Yeah.
Is there an effort to try to increase? I mean, we just talked about promotion, I guess, but Portland seems to be pretty low on the, there's not as many as there are in Seattle, obviously, but I wonder if there's a way we could put the word out more to the local area.
They've tried. I think they haven't had as much success getting traction in like getting members to even come out to events is difficult. They're not as well attended as the events in Seattle.
Why do you think that is?
I really don't know. I don't know. I
it's
think
like a general apathy that the city has anyway.
I think there's a little bit of that. I mean, I think about like how difficult
for these kind of things or whatever.
Or like I think about how I am with an RSVP. I'm see if I'm free that day. Like, I don't want to commit. Like, I'm not sure. But
well, and the events here too, like, they seem to be they're welcome. Like, you don't have to be a member to come.
No.
And so I think that they're trying to encourage other people that are musicians or in the industry somehow to come check it out and then perhaps become a member.
I see. Cool.
Yeah.
So that particular event, the Emma
Ruth
was probably like in Willamette Week or whatever. Like, people could see that it's an event coming up.
I don't know if it's like that. I don't think it's like that.
Okay. You just have to know that it's happening.
Yeah. So. I don't think they want necessarily like the general public coming.
Okay.
It's like, but if I wanted to invite like John or something, I could bring John.
Cool.
And like, you have to RSVP and you have to like, all that. So
when's the next one in Portland?
I don't know, but when I was up there, I thought I heard Chloe talking about a Portland event.
Yeah, they haven't announced a date. They historically did a board meeting in February, every February in Portland. They didn't do that this year, and I haven't heard what the event is going to be, so I'm not sure. I'm assuming if they do something, it'll be obviously fall.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But we'll see. You'll be involved in that.
I will be. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm planning that.
Yeah. I'm excited about that. Mm-hmm. That'll be a lot of fun.
What is your new position, or what do you have to do?
I don't really know.
You're going to be planning this party, dude.
Yeah. I have orientation in June. I guess.
See. Cool.
And then the first meeting, I guess, is September. Is what I was told.
Yep.
So.
And being on the board has other kind of responsibilities, I guess. Besides that.
A little bit. I mean, you can you choose your own adventure.
Okay.
I think they hope that you'll be active if you're on the board. They hope that they encourage everybody to engage with at least one committee, if not more than one committee, and then you become part of one of those committees that we talked about, and they usually have planning or programming that you can kind of jump in, but they really would love for anybody to show initiative in their community to do, especially to further the activities of the committees. But they value initiative if you have it and you want to take something further.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
That's great.
So cool.
It's cool to get into the meat of that a little bit more. Let's take a quick break and get into a little bit of mastering. We're back. Let's move on to your day job, Amy.
Yes.
So I was always under the impression that it's called mastering.
Yeah.
But I've also been told that it's called pre-mastering when you talk about vinyl.
That is also right.
Okay.
That is also right. So, so mastering is effectively finishing an audio recording, right? A mix. You're finishing it. You're getting it ready for format distribution. And one of those format distributions is vinyl.
Right.
And so if you are a mastering studio that does not have access to a lathe, which is the thing that will cut the master lacquers, or if you're doing DMM, it's going to cut it to copper, and that will become the thing that is duplicated for the pressing plant. If you don't have access to one of those, you're preparing a digital version of the record that's an A-side, B-side. People call them pre-masters. People call them vinyl masters, vinyl ready-met, digital vinyl. There's different names for it, but pre-master is one of the more common ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when somebody's preparing a vinyl master, pre-master, I guess.
Yeah.
And what sound differences are they looking for besides the regular digital one that goes on Spotify or something?
Yeah. Great question.
I'm always confused by this.
Well, most people that are preparing a pre-master are probably going to take some of the limiter off.
Okay.
So it's going to be a little bit softer, and that's just because, when you're just trying to have a good leave for the person who's going to be engineering the cut, knowing that they're probably going to have their own limiting tools if they're going to even
So it ends up happening again.
It
sometimes.
might. So I do vinyl work, and we have a lathe at our studio, so I cut, and I do put a limiter on it, but I put it on for high frequency only. It's a high frequency limiter, and that's mostly to protect the cutter head on the machine.
Oh, okay. So it's an actual damage that could happen.
That's right.
Oh,
yep.
interesting.
That is a way that you can blow your cutter head is with high frequency information. So hi-hats, sibilants, things that are really, really hot, high level can blow your head.
Wow. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. So high frequency limiter goes on for that specifically.
So if you had an album, you do the mixing, and you're going to have two different versions then. One for the vinyl, one for the MP3 or
ideally,
Spotify.
But not always.
Okay.
I mean, there's been records that I've cut that are clearly from a CD.
Oh.
And, the hotter the signal when you're cutting, you're asking basically the cutter head to cut clipped audio. And so when it's going to be tracking back, it's tracking back square shapes instead of more dynamic peaks and things like that. So, there's not any hardcore record that I've ever cut that doesn't have square peaks. That's all real slammed.
Okay.
It's aggressive music. It's meant to kind of sound fucked up, and it does, and it's fine. But things that are more dynamic, having that limiter off allows you to engineer a cut that's more musical and suited for playback.
Yeah. Okay.
Through plastic. Yeah. Which is kind of a weird ask.
It is.
It is.
The whole thing just seems like magic to me.
I know. Me
every
too.
time I listen to a record, I'm like, I just this is impossible. There's no way this is happening.
You should come in sometime.
I would love to.
I want to do a tour.
You should come in
I'd love
when
that.
I'm
Could we do
cutting
that?
something.
I would love to
Absolutely.
do that.
Anytime.
Yeah,
Just come in and we can talk through the chain, the signal to the lathe, what's happening.
I wanna do
You
that.
can kind of see why and how. It won't feel magical anymore. You'll see it and you'll say, "Oh, look at that! Look what that machine can do." Yeah.
So when you say cutting, like what are you actually doing?
Yeah. What is
so
it?
there is a lathe that's kind of akin to a wood cutting lathe, but this one is designed for cutting lacquers, which is the setup that we have. There's other setups, other modifications that machines have to cut into a metal blank, a copper blank, and that's the DMM style of
and then what's the advantage or disadvantage
cutting.
of the DMM or versus?
So DMM cuts a step out of the process. So the process that we employ at Telegraph and a lot of other studios where we're cutting into a lacquer blank, which is basically a piece of metal substrate covered in lacquer material.
Yep.
It's soft.
Okay.
It's perishable. It's extremely if there's heat, it's probably going to damage the lacquer. You have to be really careful when you're shipping it, especially in the summer, to pay attention to where it's headed and what the temperatures are. Because even, a half hour in the back of a UPS truck during a heat dome, like that thing's toast, right?
So is
like
it cheaper that way then or something?
It is not necessarily cheaper per se, because you have to source copper blanks.
Yeah.
And so for, pressing facilities like the pressing facility in the Czech Republic, they make their own blanks out there. So they have access to copper resources.
Pirates Press?
Pirates Press they use this same pressing facility.
Okay.
It's called GZ.
GZ, yeah.
Yep.
Of course.
So,
awesome.
And they are a DMM plant.
So do you send the cuts to them, or do they have their own cutting facility?
So
right?
GZ is their own. They are their own thing out in the Czech Republic.
Okay.
They kind of handle everything pressing. They're actually more akin to the way the record industry used to be, which was centralized.
I see.
And when records started to go away and people were electing to listen to tapes and CDs for trading it for more portable formats, it became decentralized and just kind of held on by a thread. There was these underground communities like DJ communities, hardcore communities, metal communities that were still interested in buying records that kept the record pressing facilities in business, really. But it's all decentralized, so everything is not in one location anymore.
I see, and that's where you guys come in. You do the one side of it, and then you don't press vinyl or anything.
We don't.
You
So the process goes, recording, mixing, mastering, format distribution, preparing for CD, preparing for streaming, preparing for vinyl. If we're preparing for vinyl,
there are different masters for each of those.
There are.
Oh my gosh.
There are. Yes.
No wonder my album sound all fucked up.
Ideally,
nobody's done that.
Well, ideally,
But I think
sometimes that doesn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, like I don't want to speak for all of my work, but like, I'll always have a different vinyl master than I do for like digital.
Yeah, sure.
Or for a CD.
Yeah.
But I don't know how. I mean, is that common for someone to actually take that care? I mean, I think like
to
most
do a separate.
it's more expense. It's more labor.
That's
it's
true.
more.
I think if you're going to a professional mastering studio today, you're going to get those deliverables, or you would be well within your right to ask for them. And definitely, if you're pricing out a mastering engineer, look for that language, because that's pretty common.
Yeah,
it's pretty standard in this day and age.
The engineers, I mean, I rarely have anything beyond like vinyl and streaming and CD. Like, I mean, I just released a cassette, but I had that mastered for cassette because it's only on cassette. Well, cassette and streaming. I feel like streaming is just kind of thrown in now. Yeah. The engineers that I work with, it's like, we'll give you this deliverable, but
use the same one for.
No, they'll do something different, but it's just kind of thrown in.
I see.
Because it's just so. What's the word? Ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous.
Yeah,
that's the word. Yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find it ridiculous that we record on Pro Tools digitally and then we try to press it onto an analog record? I always find that kind of weird, but I'm doing it too with all my shit.
I don't think no, not ridiculous. I mean, I love the format.
Me too.
Collect vinyl. I love it. I like interacting with it. I think it's really great. No. Okay. I mean, and to be honest, it's really unusual for someone to cut the digital processing out completely. Yeah. I've had a number of clients who have inquired about doing it, but nobody's ever done it with me. Yeah. I have a client that recently dropped off tapes like in the last 2 months, and wants to do direct to vinyl from the tapes. So that'll be the first project that I run through that way.
Do you think it will sound okay if they do that? Or?
I mean, I'm going to find out. Yeah, no, it will. It will. It'll sound. I mean, that's how they used to do it. Yeah. I mean, that's how it was done pre-computers. Yeah. So, and those
probably some labor involved a little bit, I'm sure.
Just from the recording aspect, I mean, Agaloc's recorded on tape quite a bit, and I've had different projects that have recorded on tape, but like having it like all on tape, that's so cumbersome. I just I wouldn't want to do that again.
I don't blame you. That's a lot.
And it just, I mean, we've done it in various capacities, but like we always basically tracked our rhythm section to 2-inch tape, and then threw that into Pro Tools or that other one that I can't think of right now. Digital Performer. That's what we used on the first few Agaloc records. So we'd always track everything on 2-inch tape, the rhythm section, throw it into Pro Tools, and then do overdubs on that, and it gives it like a nice warm tone, flavor, all that stuff. But like actually like tracking purely to tape is just
I can't
imagine. I mean, that's why it was expensive to do, and that's why they were experts. The people who were putting these albums together, Fleetwood Mac and shit. I don't know, Steely Dan or something. Yeah, it's like, oh my god, so much work involved.
That's why you needed an actual tape op.
An
person designated to do that job.
I love that magazine too.
Yeah, me too. And just maintaining the tape, taking care of it, the expense. Like,
dude, I just had a bunch of tapes dropped off. That's what I did yesterday, was transfer a bunch of tapes for a reissue project I'm gonna remaster.
Oh, I see.
And I went to transfer the first tape, and the box is just like covered in mold.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm like, I can't do this today. I have to bake this now.
Oh, is that the process? So I have to go, put it under some heat, kill the mold.
Well, remove the water and ideally, I mean, in theory, I'm looking at the box and I'm like, oh gosh, this had some moisture in here. It probably separated some of the materials.
Can you spin it and then clean it as it's spinning by? Just kind of like take a rag or like a napkin?
No. What would happen is it would if the tape has already started degrading because moisture was introduced, it would start shedding.
Oh shit!
And then you're going to start losing pieces of.
But so the baking could possibly save it.
It does. It snaps it back into place.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So,
I would have thought, it's ruined.
Are you talking about like literally like throwing it in an oven?
People have thrown them in ovens. Wow. But no, a dehydrator does the trick.
Okay. So you could take the moisture out.
Wow. Take the moisture out.
Incredible.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And then transfer the tape. But it's a pain in the butt. Like it's hard to schedule. It's like you're used to working. I work primarily with digital, but we have a tape machine, so I can work with tape. We have 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. Wow. And I was planning on transferring project and mastering it the next day, and then I'm like, no, I got to bake this for 8 hours and then transfer it and then go on vacation, and now I can't do it till I come back. So it's like, it's super fun. Yeah. I mean, that's
a cool job.
It's still fun.
Yeah.
What happens to the cuts? That you send them to the vinyl. What happens to them then?
Okay, so
after they get pressed, or whatever.
So let's back it back up. So master, vinyl, cut the lacquer. You engineer the cut. You ideally get a different master from an engineer who doesn't have a lathe, and they send you the because I do a lot of cuts called flat cuts too. I don't master them, but we have a lathe, so other mastering engineers will prepare
They've mastered it already, and you
that
just
pre-master, and they send it to me, and I cut it. Yep. Lacquer gets packed into a box. It gets shipped off to an electroforming facility. Okay. And there's only 4 or 5 electroforming facilities in the country. So they're going to one of these 4 or 5 electroforming facilities. They plate it, they nickel it. That preserves the cut. Nice. And then they take that mother or father or whatever you want to call that preserved cut. It's the inverse because they separate the lacquer from the metalwork, and then they pull stampers, and the stampers are what goes on to the pressing facility, and the amount of stampers that a pressing facility will get is contingent upon the amount of records being made. Sure. A set of stampers will last roughly 1,000 records, maybe give or take. So if you have a large run, you're getting a whole bunch of stampers for that run. Whereas if you're just doing 500 to 1,000, you're probably getting one set of stampers.
And what do they do after it's complete?
The stampers usually get trashed, and or recycled, of course. Yeah. But the original metalwork is archived at the electroforming facility that it was made. And so if you end up transferring to a different pressing facility down the road, you can, hit up that electroforming facility and have stampers made and sent wherever you want, really. And they're way more sending lacquers. I do sometimes have to send lacquers to Germany or lacquers to the Czech Republic, because they do some electroplating as well. But it's terrible having to send something perishable overseas. It's always a nail biter.
About it,
it's nerve-wracking to send it to California sometimes.
Right.
Are the 4 plants or whatever that's doing that, is that a lot to do with why the backup is happening with vinyl?
Yes, that's the bottleneck, is the electroforming. Wow. And with environmental standards, it's really difficult to open a new electroforming facility. You can open a pressing plant. Sure. That's just that's
happening more and more, it seems. Like they're catching up to that. But it's the other process that's slowing it down. Interesting.
It's a lot more red tape involved in that because of the chemicals.
Right. Yeah.
In real estate, they call the master bedroom the primary bedroom now.
I've heard
that. Are they doing that? Is there a threat to your job?
No.
Job title being called something else?
That is hilarious. I don't think there's any.
You're going to be a primary?
Maybe there'll be another word.
A vinyl pre-primary?
Oh, my goodness.
Because master.
Wow, I never thought about that. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, nice job. Way to start that movement.
I was paying attention to what you were saying. I didn't just think of that while.
That's great.
Yeah, the whole time you're just.
He's like,
when am I going to say this?
He's like, I already got the answer. Boring. What else am I going to say?
No. Yeah. I swear I wasn't.
Let me get her. That's great. That's super funny.
Do you ever have strange surprises in your job, doing that? Or really interesting challenges, aside from having to bake something?
Yeah, moldy tape or something.
Yeah. Is there anything else like that?
Somebody sends you a really shitty mix. Do you have to send it back sometimes? Dude, your mix is terrible. Can't do anything with it.
It's touchy. Yeah, it's touchy.
No, that's the way I wanted it, man.
It depends on it depends on the quality of the relationship. Sometimes it's really touchy, and you get the sense that telling someone that their mix is problematic is gonna blow the project up or make it get derailed in some way, so you do your best.
But in your mind, you're probably are you sure you want me to put this down?
It's tough. Sometimes that can be really hard. That's definitely can be a bummer. But I'm trying to think of other super weird things that can happen.
Do people record on 4-track still and stuff like that? I mean, Jason has one here behind you.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you do something with something like? I mean, if I gave you a tape, you could probably do something with it, right?
Yeah, people sell. Bring in DATs for us to transfer. I transferred a bunch of DATs for, probably can't say what band it was. It was a pretty big band from the 90s. And I enjoyed getting to listen to all these weird takes. And
that's cool.
Was that a preservation thing? They were trying to preserve what they had? Or
the label was considering trying to put out some weird, obscure recordings or pieces of recordings, but I'm not really sure if that's ever going to see the light of day.
Do you guys do that stuff too, though? If I had an old DAT of something I produced and I just wanted to digitize it or something?
Yeah, absolutely. We do the transfer for you.
Nice.
I have a couple old DATs laying around.
Yeah. There's not a lot of places. You can rent the equipment, but there's not a lot of places that'll do that transfer anymore.
I imagine.
At least in Portland, anyway, our studio is one of the last places that has an operating DAT machine. So
awesome.
DAT transfer is kind of weird and cool. I have people record on Tascams and send their projects through.
Really?
For sure. Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure that's pretty popular right now. It's
I think
that old tech is
totally
coming back.
Yeah, well, I could be wrong, but I believe the first Sufjan Stevens was recorded entirely on a 4-track.
Wow.
He had like a 57 and a 4-track. And
Amazing.
all he used. It's
That's
amazing.
really cool.
Did you see they're doing a Broadway play of Illinois?
I did.
Oh, they are?
Isn't that crazy?
I just saw that the
It's like,
other
I wonder
day.
what that's going to be like.
I bet it's really good.
Yeah, I bet so.
I love that record
That album's
so much.
so good.
Yeah.
It's so brilliant.
That'll be
Yeah.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
love Sufjan just front and back, but that record is...
Yeah, that was a special one.
Yeah, that one and Age of Odds, I think, are my favorite ones. That one's...
I hadn't paid attention much after that, I don't think.
like Carrie and Lowell.
That Carrie Lowell, I have that.
So
That's
great.
That
Yeah,
album's
that's
great. Their last one, Javelins, was really good too.
It's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you know all the shit that happened to him?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty gutting.
Jesus.
Oh, like health problems? Or what are we talking about here?
Well, his partner died.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then what's that disease he had? Same thing Marty had when he was a teenager. Like he woke up and he was paralyzed.
Oh, my God.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it was like
Oh,
around the
no.
same time that his partner
geez.
passed away too, I think. But
Shit.
so now he's like having to learn how to walk and stuff.
Oh my
again.
Oh, my
gosh.
God.
And it's like this weird neurological something. Marty had it when he was like a teenager, and he was in the hospital for like 2
Oh,
months.
that's terrible. No, I only
Yeah.
knew the partner passing part. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so sad.
Yeah. But yeah, I love Sufjan. But I'm pretty sure the first one, I think Enjoy Your Rabbit, was all 4-track, I think.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a wild one.
Yeah.
That one's a wild ride.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It still seems like a mystery to me. You know,
We're going to go do a tour, dude.
It's okay. Come
Yeah.
do a tour.
That'd
Come
be
do a
awesome.
tour.
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
But I mean, to be honest, like I know how a record is played. Like I understand how that works, but it still just seems unbelievable.
Isn't it crazy? They figured it out like 100 years ago.
I know.
I know.
And I still can't wrap my fucking head around it.
But it's like it's a
There's a
needle
groove
on grooves,
and- yeah.
and people are like, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, does it though?
And somehow it's amplified because you have your stereo off, but the record's turning. You can still
can
hear
still
it.
hear it.
Yeah, so there's some amplification happening. But
Yeah.
she probably knows all about this.
Yeah, but it's like I can recognize Mike Patton's voice, and it's just a needle on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
how
how
is
does
that
that
possible?
happen?
It's insane.
The technology is truthfully incredible. And they've been trying, I mean, people have been trying to like outdo it since the resurgency of vinyl. Like, oh,
Yeah.
well, this is, we're not going to keep doing this same old thing again.
Oh, I
We're
see.
going to try to improve on the technology.
Right.
Nobody's cracked the
Isn't
code.
that interesting? Yeah.
Nobody's been able to do it. They're like, we're going to laser printer. We're
Yeah,
going to.
yeah. This kind of
it
thing.
sounds
3D
like
printing.
Crap. Sounds like
'Cause,
crap.
yeah, there were threats, or I heard about that. You could possibly press your own record at home with a
Yeah.
3D printer or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen yet.
No, because it sounds like
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already
'cause-
hard enough to get it to sound good
Yeah,
in plastic.
yeah,
Again, we're
yeah,
like we're
yeah.
Right.
playing
Well,
music in plastic.
Yeah, it's bypassing all those steps you're just talking about. Like those steps are necessary to get like a nice sounding record.
Do you get involved with the equipment side as far as like when you're at home? Do you invest in like the best players and
No.
shit? Because you
No,
do.
I don't. I am not. I don't. I would not consider myself an audiophile at
Yeah.
all. Like I'm like a rock and roll
Yeah, me
chick
too.
with
And
a
yeah,
punker
I've tried
partner.
buying like higher end players and shit, but it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference in my ears. But I'm sure there is some.
I went from a player that was like Fisher Price level.
Oh, yeah, no.
To
To-
the U-turn or something. You bought a
Yeah, I invested like $2,000 in my system.
Great.
So I got a nice player. I got a nice needle. I got a nice preamp. I have tubes. I got some nice speakers. I wouldn't say like crazy level, but more
Makes a
than
difference.
most people
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like
You sum
night
that
and
up.
day
You sum
difference.
that up. Everything starts. My brother just got into listening to records, which is really cute. My kid brother, so he's messaging me all the time. How can what kind of cartridge should I get? He'd be like, I'm ready to level up already. I'm like, cool. Okay, everything starts summing up, right?
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah,
you
that's right.
just replace your cartridge,
Yeah,
like
it's not enough.
probably not
Yeah.
gonna matter.
Yeah.
Like how are you monitoring?
Yeah.
What's your preamp? Like,
Yep.
That's right.
is your turntable? I was like, why don't you just start with like setting your turntable up? Like learn how to actually like set it up properly, make sure that everything
Isolated
works
and stuff like
there.
that,
Yes,
yeah.
get a protractor, like do the whole thing, and then start making decisions about other gear.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like Sonos speakers and relatively nice player, and it sounds really good to me.
Yeah.
Which player do you have at home?
It's I have the U-turn at the beach, and I
Right.
have it's dude. What's another brand?
I don't know.
I turned it on to you. Tell me some other bands so I can tell you yes or no.
Yeah, I
forget, dude. Forget. It's a good one, though.
Yeah, because your U-turn is at the beach, and so I was like, well, I know it's not that one.
Yeah.
Because we both got U-turns around the same time.
Yeah,
they're cool.
They're cool, but that fucking belt.
The belt.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to.
Man.
I'm like direct drive or
that's
nothing.
the better way to
that's
go.
just.
I mean,
and I do DJing too, so I'm like,
you
know, I need to be able to.
Yeah. So you have 2 decks?
I don't. I actually don't have a DJ deck at home. I would kind of like to get one.
Yeah,
I've been
that'd be fun.
I DJ'd a while back a lot, and then I stopped, obviously, when the world stopped. And then I just started doing it again on my friend's radio show. I started co-hosting a radio show.
Cool.
So, so I've been doing that a bit more, but I just have like an old. All my stuff is old. I have all vintage old gear. I just kind of like.
It seems like these days, the more you spend,
it.
the more it breaks. Like the more shit could go wrong.
Yeah,
and it is better. And the same thing with like I'm into Walkmans and stuff right now. The newer ones are shitty. Like just get an old Sony from the '90s, dude. You're good. You know.
Yeah,
it's probably the same thing with record players.
I did get one of those. The French. It's a Bluetooth cassette player.
The Philo or the We Are Rewind. There's 2.
Yeah, We Are
Rewind. Yeah, it's kind of a bigger.
I love
bulkier
it.
One. Do you?
I do. I think it's really great. It's
and you
pretty.
Use the wireless headphones or?
No, I play through a Bluetooth speaker. Usually,
awesome.
I kick it into my soundbar, or
Nice.
I play it at home
That's
a
awesome.
lot.
Yeah.
And I camp a lot too, so it's fun to take.
You could bring with you then.
I take them with me and play them through Bluetooth.
Cool,
speakers.
and you're happy with the battery life and everything.
Oh, it's great.
Sounds okay.
And I can. It charges with USB, so
exactly,
it's
That's
pretty.
so cool.
It's pretty convenient.
Modern technology,
It's
dude.
real cool.
In the tapes.
Yeah.
Modern technology in retro technology.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Well, Nick would always give me hell because with Moonbladder, I always use these Walkman. I have like 2 or 3 going, and 3 at all times. Sometimes
he was
more.
fucking up these Walkmans.
Oh, yeah.
That was really bothering me. That's why I gave him a few, but I gave him really shitty ones.
Yeah,
you can have these ones, dude, but not my good Sonys, dude.
you would have been mad at me in LA because I just took the 2 that I was working with and I just threw them on the ground.
Why would you do that?
They exploded everywhere.
So cool.
They can never be made again.
Oh, it's so fun.
But now with a We Are Rewind, you're going to spend $150 for that, so you can't do that.
I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm phasing the Walkman out of my performance.
That's good. That's smart.
Yeah. I just couldn't afford. I could, but it's just like they're so fucking expensive, and they're hard to come by.
They're harder to find at Goodwill now. I don't find them at all.
They are. I used to be able to find them a bunch, and
not
not
No.
anymore.
They're on eBay for like $30, even like a shitty one. It's like, why is it so expensive?
And I don't. The other thing is, like, I like my tapes enough now where I'm like, I don't want my tapes to get eaten.
Exactly.
Right.
Like it needs to be a good player.
Oh, I have like a little section of tapes that are disposed, like maybe repeats of other tapes that I have, just so that I can test those.
Yes.
Because I don't want to screw up my good
no.
tapes. You put in like Rust in Peace or something. Fuck! Why did I waste
no,
good?
it's eaten.
Why did I do that?
Yeah.
It's the worst.
I'll put in Chicago 17 or something. You know, okay, that's good.
One of your like 10 copies of that.
Exactly. How many?
Sacrificial.
And I have like 10 copies of Chicago 17 and Rocky 4 soundtrack.
Ooh.
That's one of my vices.
Yeah.
Nice.
You've talked about this in the pod before, but you bought, wasn't it a Rocky cassette in that vending machine in Baltimore?
It was that was Top Gun soundtrack.
Oh, Top Gun soundtrack. Yeah.
On cassette.
In a vending
this
machine.
Cool vending machine, you know. Somebody recreated it or whatever and put funny shit in there. But Top Gun was around the front. So I want to buy that.
Heck yeah.
There was that really cool brewery.
Yeah, in Baltimore.
We should try to hit that again.
It was definitely not there when you lived there.
No,
it was pretty modern.
Doubt it. There wasn't a big brewery scene there when I
we
was
should have a whole
there.
conversation with her about Baltimore in the 90s because I'm sure it was very different.
Yeah.
Hard place.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, and I lived right off of MLK. They called it Pigtown at the time, but right off of MLK and Lombard, right on the other side of MLK.
Okay.
Which is, I can't recommend you going over there.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
All we know about
is
like
place.
in the media how rough it is.
Yeah,
shit, you know,
But. I mean, we experience a little bit when we go to MDF. Like, you see it a little bit.
But in the 90s, dude, it was very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, The Wire.
That was being filmed when I was living there.
Really?
2 blocks down from where I was living. Yeah, I didn't watch that show for a long time until I moved away.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, it was a little too, like, why do I want to watch that? I lived that.
I lived it.
Yeah, you lived it.
No.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break and move on to some segments.
This is Toby Driver from KO. Maudlin of the Well, and more. You're listening to I Hate Music.
All right, we're back.
We're back.
Let's get into a...
Fuck, marry, kill. Would you fuck? Would you marry? kill.
Thanks, Jory,
Wow.
for that. Such a great intro.
So good,
That's
dude.
really
Little
fun.
segment music. Yeah, fuck, marry, kill. I've got one. You guys ready?
Sure,
Go.
I'm ready.
Okay. I think I know what you're going to pick on this one.
Okay. Well, let Amy go first then.
Okay. Fuck, marry, kill. Cassettes, LPs, CDs.
Damn, I had the same thing written
Did
down.
you really?
I almost
That's
texted you.
hilarious.
I was like, I'm gonna do the format.
Oh my god!
And
Well, I mean,
but then
it
I
just-
thought, I was like, oh, that's really hard.
Yeah, it's really hard.
really
All of
hard
them
to
are hard,
like
yeah.
kill one.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Okay, so you did cassette, vinyl,
Yeah,
CD.
yeah. I just thought it made sense with the topic.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
That's
Good.
so funny
Well,
that
I have
we-
another one. I had
Okay.
a backup one, so
Okay.
we're good.
I
Okay.
got one too.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, oh boy, I think these days I'm probably marrying cassettes, fucking vinyl, and I guess I'm killing CDs. But that's not
So
really
fucking
true.
implies like a one night stand. Is that what this means?
That's kind of how I take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you marry your favorite, like your ride or die.
Oh wow!
you know?
And you pick cassette. That's awesome.
It is now. I mean, it has
Yeah.
been. Vinyl has been. It would. If you had asked me this question 2-3 years ago, I'd probably would have been vinyl.
Yeah.
For sure, Mary.
Yeah, me too.
But I have been buying less vinyl and collecting more tapes. Like the last couple of record stores I went to, I bought tapes.
Yeah, me too. What do you
Yeah.
think's happening? Is it me or you, or is this happening amongst people?
I don't know. I felt it was just a me thing, but I don't know.
Why in Japan was there a whole cassette store? Something's happening.
Yeah, I think I like the size. I like it's not a bit novel.
Yeah,
in a
and
way.
maybe it's cheaper too.
It's
which I kinda
there's
like.
that. There's that. Though I did spend like $30 on it.
Wow,
I mean,
what'd you buy, dude?
it was just this weird comp. I don't even know. I haven't even listened to it yet. It's
Yeah.
still in the wrapper, but I bought it when I was in
it
Anaheim, and
it
it
was
was
sealed.
it was sealed,
that's
and
exciting.
it just there was like 3 or 4 of these weird comps, and I just was like intrigued, and I bought one.
Wow.
And the guy behind the counter was like, "Those are really cool," and I was like, "All right, I'll take one."
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, $30 is a lot for a tape.
It was a
dude.
lot.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
lot.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
that's
go.
awesome. Nick,
Mine's the same.
the same.
Yeah, right now. But
you're,
I'm
you're
like you
marrying
said.
cassettes.
Yep.
You're fucking vinyl
Uh-huh.
and killing CDs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, my CD collection in the 90s was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Same.
Very, very many. Oh, yeah, yours.
I had like 5,000-6,000.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it was crazy. I had I used to work at Tower Records, so I had the racks. When they kind of swap them out, I get the racks, and then I made the little dividers
Yeah,
with the
you did.
band. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I
home.
love this.
In my house, I had it, and it was like a record store. you know?
Oh,
It
that's
was
so
cool.
fun. Oh gosh.
So I used to want to marry CDs, I think, but
CDs are great.
yeah, but I don't really listen to them ever anymore.
No.
I don't have a player in my car or anything.
Yeah.
For me, CDs have just been completely replaced by streaming. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think there's that big of a difference. And it's just kind of like, that's so much more convenient.
And the packaging's not as cool as vinyl, and stuff
Right.
like that,
No.
ever usually.
Yeah.
But the stuff that like the Agalok thing that just got put out on that
Yeah.
CD packaging was a lot better than the tape packaging, for instance.
Right. Or like The Thief. The art book is a CD, too.
Only on the CD, so it's
Yeah.
almost forcing me to buy CDs again.
I know.
It's kind of weird.
I know.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little bit different. I am marrying vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking cassettes, killing CDs.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just don't have much love for CDs anymore.
Yeah, me
I
either.
still have a ton of CDs. I mean, I have like multiple shelves in the basement.
Nice.
Still, I just can't part with them. It's weird. I have the space. I justify it as
Right.
like I
Yeah,
have the
exactly.
space.
Exactly.
Just
Yeah.
don't get rid of media. I don't get rid of tapes. I don't get rid of vinyl. Even if stuff I don't listen, even moldy stuff, I still just have it in the basement. Like I have like a crates of 45s. Like I just don't get
Yeah.
video. Like we just don't get rid of that.
Do you have a
stuff.
VHS as well?
Yeah, we just have all kinds of stuff.
awesome.
We have the space for it, so we
Yeah.
can just
I wanna see your
sit on
house.
it.
That's
It's just like a
If I didn't-
ton of stuff.
Spend a huge portion of my life moving around, I
Yeah.
probably would have had my stuff
Yeah.
too. But
We
it
both
just
got rid of
became
our
too
CDs,
cumbersome.
and you
Yeah.
did first. You were selling them on this Amazon thing or whatever. And
No, I
was
saw them on eBay.
Oh, I thought, okay, I had found this Amazon thing.
Yeah, you did the Amazon
10
thing.
years ago or something where they were buying relatively expensive, like Overkill CDs for $40 from me. It's like, oh, okay, I'll do that. But now I kind of regret it a little bit. Shit.
Yeah.
Especially with my old tapes, I got rid of those too. I threw them on a dump.
Me too.
I saw, as I threw them, this was about 15 years ago, the box opened and the tapes poured out, and I saw it, and I turned my back to it. It was very kind of a cinematic, sad moment.
It's like putting a pet down.
Yeah,
that's so sad.
But now I wish I fucking kept those.
Me too. I wish I kept my tapes, specifically my
ones.
tapes.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
why
really
did I
good
get rid of
ones.
those.
I don't feel like that about my CDs. I don't know if I will.
You don't regret it, yeah. You kept your good ones, like the more rare ones too, right?
Yeah, but like I don't even know where those are.
Oh, right.
You know, I mean,
in a box somewhere.
Yeah, I mean they're probably behind that wall in a box somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one, and that's crazy. We had the same idea.
That's funny.
Extremely funny.
Mine is more of I don't even know if one of these things exists, but it's for you, Amy. The American hardcore, Norwegian hardcore, or Finnish hardcore.
Oh no!
I don't even know if Norwegian hardcore is a thing.
It's got to be.
But you mentioned Finnish hardcore, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right.
Okay.
And American hardcore, maybe there's more of a tradition in the past with that. I'm not sure. You know, like if it's Minor Threat hardcore, like I don't even know what that means.
Well, I'm definitely going to kill the Norwegian just because I don't know it.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I was making up. I was like, I'm not even sure
I'm not sure.
It's got to be a thing.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
it is, yeah.
And but the Finnish stuff is really fun. I think I'm currently fucking the Finnish.
Nice.
For sure. And then I'm wed to the American.
Nice. Perfect.
Just because of time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have no opinion on that.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I don't really know any Finnish hardcore. I mean, I know of it a little bit through metal bands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm always a little confused between the distinction between punk and hardcore.
Right.
Like my buddy Aesop, he grew up on hardcore, and he's like, oh well, like Minor Threat is hardcore, but like Black Flag isn't, or something like that. And I'm like, okay, so like what are those differences? Like I know those like with metal, like I can nail
every
that shit.
subgenre.
Yeah, but like I'm like, so what makes it hardcore
versus punk?
Yeah, is that something you can speak to?
I mean, I feel like that's like a long conversation.
Yeah, I imagine a whole
episode about that. That would be a fun conversation. I feel like I've heard that a lot with metal, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of people talking about the differences between that. I think a lot of it has to do with like pacing for me.
Okay.
Hardcore's faster than?
It's like kind of sped up, more aggressive punk.
Yep.
Okay.
Is the way that I've conventionally thought about it over time, where it's
that
like
makes sense. Yeah.
punk can kind of bend into more of a rock world, and I think that hardcore bends more into like metalcore.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
That's good.
Yeah.
We should have you on again to expose us to some of these bands.
To the Finnish hardcore stuff. Yeah.
Sure. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I don't know.
As my relationship develops with them, because we're just fucking now. So, it's
just a one night stand.
We'll see how this goes. But like so far, so good. Yeah. It's been real fun so far.
Cool. Wait, so you're fucking the Finnish and you're marrying the American?
Yeah, just because time.
I mean,
time in the seat.
Yeah, exactly.
If I had to choose, that's what I would do too. Even though I barely know what it is.
You just want to fuck anything Finnish, dude.
Yeah, but like I come from a punk background, but I was like more like, this is also when I was like 13,
right?
And I didn't get exposed to a lot of stuff. So like growing up, before I was into metal, I was like super into Black Flag, Germs, Minor Threat,
fun.
Like Black Flag and Germs changed my life.
Yeah.
But Ramones were always my first love, and they always will be.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get exposed to too much stuff outside of that until later, and then I would go back and like get into like adolescence and things like that. So my knowledge is like, I love punk, but my knowledge is actually pretty slim on the subject.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I've only like really gotten into the punk bands that crossed over into metal,
and that's great too. And that's a whole nother thing to talk about, like shit like DRI.
Yeah. Oh, Suicidal.
Yeah.
Suicidal. Oh yeah, I love Suicidal.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Okay, what was your other?
Well, mine were going to be, this is a little bit anticlimactic because I feel like yours were all both so good. I was going to do the streaming platforms. I was going to do Spotify.
Oh, shit.
That's
Tidal.
Tidal? Is that, what is that?
Yeah, that's the one that people are using these days.
So Spotify, Tidal, and then I was back and forth between saying something like SoundCloud or like Apple Music. I'm going to just stick with Apple Music. So we're going to do Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music.
I feel like those are like the three big ones right now.
Yeah.
Mine's
Amazon.
easy. I've never even used those others.
Okay.
SoundCloud, maybe I get a link here and there, but
yeah, I feel like I've only used SoundCloud for when someone's like, listen to my album that's not released yet.
Yeah,
Right.
Here's a private link.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm fucking Spotify, I'm marrying Spotify, and then I'm going to kill all the others.
Got it.
I like
Perfect.
it. Yeah.
You just Spotify all the way.
I know it sucks, the corporation, fucking Joe Rogan, all this shit, but
It's hard to-
Spotify's great.
It's hard to back
It
out
is.
of once you've invested time.
Yeah, and I've got
in
these
it.
playlists and shit.
Yeah.
I can't ruin this now.
Yeah.
It works really well. I mean, I'm the same as Nick. I've never used Tidal or Apple Music.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
Are there any differences between Apple and
Yeah.
Spotify? Okay.
I think so.
What are they?
I mean, I think some of it's like interface
Oh, right.
preferences,
Yeah.
right? And with Apple, you can own music
I
that
see.
way.
I
Like you
see.
can purchase
Right.
music through Apple
Yeah, right.
Music.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then they kind of backed into the streaming, kind of emulating Spotify with
Yeah.
Apple
Yeah.
Music. But I'm Team Tidal. I mean,
Wow.
I've heard it's really good.
I am
Tell me about it.
Team Tidal.
What is it?
Tidal is, and a lot of Tidal kind of raised the bar for other streaming platforms. But the things that I really have historically liked about Tidal for a long time were the high fidelity, which most of them
Nice.
have. I use it for work. I'm able to reference master versions, which
Wow.
is very cool. You can
Yeah.
change the settings so that it's not normalized and you're listening to the master
Yeah, right.
as it came out of the mastering studio.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
That's
Which
cool.
is
I
pretty
didn't know
dope.
that. Yeah.
And it's great to have
Yeah.
your ears on that sometimes. I also love the way that they lay their credits out. Like you can really easily click on an information icon for any song and get the full credits of like who worked on the album, who are the players.
Nice.
And I've noticed over time, albums, records, sounds that I enjoy, it's the same production team, same production team,
interesting.
same production team.
Because you're
And it's
looking at
just-
all the data there. and
I'm
you're
looking
seeing
at the
it.
data,
Wow,
and
that's
part of it might
cool.
be like the title algorithm has discovered that I
Maybe.
enjoy this and it
This particular
suggests it to
producer.
me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also just fun to kind of see peer behind the
that's
scenes. So
neat.
those are two things, and the compensation. Like they were the first streaming source or streaming site to compensate their artists in any way that's notable, other than just kind of feeling like a full ripoff. So
That's right.
Yeah,
I mean, how
so-
much are you getting from Spotify? How much does Agalak get?
I'm not going to give you a number, but we get paid very well for streaming.
Okay,
So
well,
it-
so they're
it's-
paying out.
It's always one of those things like, yeah, I get it, and people complain about it, but like my experience has been great. Like,
Yeah.
we get paid very well every
Is that
3 months.
a culmination, or not a combination of all the streaming, or
Yes.
is it just
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, they don't divide it out.
I mean, if I were to look at the statement, it divides it out.
Oh, okay, yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm
that'd
just
be
saying,
interesting to see.
streaming in general,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how, but Agalak gets paid very well.
Okay, so Neil Young's doing just fine.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it depends. I don't think that there's. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's like a flat rate. It's not like we get paid the same as Coldplay. I think
Okay.
it depends on whatever contract you have.
I see.
And as soon as our old label, The End, got absorbed by BMG, we started getting royalty payments from BMG, and they're very good.
I see.
So I think it's based on the contract we had with The End,
Right.
which wasn't necessarily good.
Yeah.
But these contracts were made before streaming was a thing. So I'm not sure what's happening.
Yeah.
But it's
good.
a notable amount every 3 months.
That's rad.
awesome. Yeah.
So
You're in the minority of people that I've heard say
Yep.
that,
I
which is
think
really,
so.
I mean, I'm glad to hear anybody say that,
Yeah,
honestly.
exactly. Yeah,
I really
exactly.
am.
So I have a hard time being like complaining about
Yeah.
streaming, and people are like, "Oh, you're a musician. You shouldn't use Spotify." And I'm like,
You're
well,
like, hey, Spotify
actually,
I mean,
It's paying.
butters my bread, so
yeah,
you know,
it's a significant.
Hey.
I will say it's a significant source of my income.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's
That's awesome.
awesome. That
Yeah.
makes me like a scotch fonder.
Well, and like,
For you.
I mean, Agalak's not the biggest thing in the world, but like, if you look at
Scotch.
Just a scotch.
if you look at Spotify, I mean, last time I looked,
Yeah. What's the plays?
yeah. So last time I looked at the Agalak thing, We have 93,495 monthly listeners.
Wow.
And In the Shadow of Our Pale Companion has over 4 million listens.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So if you're not getting bucks for that,
that
would make me
right.
Like
so.
Yeah,
and that's
riotous.
Just Spotify. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've tried to look at our statements to see like if there's like a rate that we get paid per listen or something, and they're so confusing.
It's it seems to be on purpose, but
but I can't complain.
They can change the rules anytime.
I can, maybe
really know.
maybe
so
we should be getting more.
When Billy Joel complains or something, it's probably his record deal or something. There's something in his contract he signed that kind of fucked him. Probably.
Well, but also like we're not making a living off of this.
That's true.
We're not trying to
right.
like if this was our only source of income,
you'd be complaining.
Well, I'd be starving.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's all relative.
It's relative, and I think it's disproportionate to the amount of money that Spotify is making off of artists.
That's the problem.
I mean, that's really
and how
the beef.
how much artists used to make from album sales.
Yeah.
And now it's minuscule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why T-shirts are $50 at the merch table. Because that's the only way they fucking make money.
Yeah. But I do want to say that I recently came across part of the reason that I have heard and had friends push back when I've tried to convert them away from Spotify to Tidal, and they're like, "Oh, I can't transfer my playlist. Like, screw this. I'm out of here. I'm back to Spotify." Like it lasts like 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
But there are services that they're pay services, but there are services you can pay for that will transfer. Yeah, nice. That will transfer that data.
And this episode brought to you by Tidal. You're a plant. She's a fucking plant.
You're on to me. You're on to me.
It's a long con.
Yep.
Yeah,
saved it to the end.
Yeah, finally you did it. Wow.
Finally. Yep. Now I guess who's getting paid.
I will check it out though. Seriously.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
pretty cool.
I will too.
I like it.
I've heard a couple people mention it before as like their go-to. So
I dig it again. Really, you can get high fidelity experiences on most platforms now. Tidal is just one of the first to do it.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll check it out. All right, let's move on to the next and last segment. You guys ready for this?
Yep.
It's T-shirt of the day. It's a T-shirt of the day.
Ew, what are you wearing?
Let's find out. It's a T-shirt of the day.
I prepare for this shit now.
That's why you're all zipped up.
Oh no, I
both
mean
of
I'm always
you.
zipped up, but
no, we're always zipped up. But
okay.
It wasn't. There wasn't a reason for being zipped up.
I wish I would have known. I would have.
No, I failed to inform you.
It's okay. But I don't feel embarrassed.
That's good.
By what I have
you didn't wear
going
your
on.
Yeah, you're wearing a black shirt.
I didn't know. I'm wearing.
She took her Hanson shirt off.
I did. I did.
Is that serious?
No.
Okay.
No.
Maybe.
No.
I mean,
I used to have a Hanson shirt. I saw him at the Mall of America in like the late '90s, and I bought a T-shirt.
Oh, that's wild.
It was a white T-shirt, and I used to wear shirts ironically like a dick.
Nice.
Yeah. So what do you wear? What's your T-shirt of the day?
You know what? I
cool.
Also, it's RTI record. It's a RTI record. Technologies Inc. in California.
Nice.
Love them.
What do they do?
They make records. They're one of the best record pressing plants in the country.
They're
fantastic. They also do electroforming, apropos our conversation.
Awesome.
This is
It's
what I
very
picked
perfect.
up off the floor today.
Wow,
Perfect.
It was turned inside out, and I turned it right side, and I was like, this'll do.
Yeah, this'll do.
So,
you had no idea you asked about it.
No, it worked out.
Yeah. I mean, most of my T-shirts are band T-shirts and this kind of thing. So
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
odds are high.
Yeah. T-shirt of the day initially was supposed to be more of like oh shit, what am I wearing? But it turned into something that we
No, I
planned
prepare
for.
now.
And that's why I didn't prepare you. I was just like, I want it to be off the cuff.
Okay, good. Well,
good. But, we know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a surprise or anything.
The first time, I think I was surprised.
Yes.
I think I was wearing a metal shirt, though. It worked out. Maybe it was an Iron Maiden shirt or something.
I don't remember what it was, but it worked out for sure.
Because it wasn't embarrassing. Like, I don't really have any embarrassing. I'm so cool, dude.
You're so cool.
I
You
don't
have
have
no
any embarrassing.
Yeah, you don't have anything. No, I would.
You've
But
weeded
it
that
could be
all
like a
out now.
baseball. I do have some baseball shirts and stuff that he would not appreciate, and he'd make fun of me possibly.
I'd make you take them off when you walk in. No, when I surprised Nick and I asked some friends to do these like little segment intros and just told Nick like I'm gonna do some segments and he's like okay cool and he had no idea how
about the
people-
jingles,
a
and songs.
riot.
Yeah, and so we would laugh and listen to him twice in a row. Yeah.
Pretty good. The little jingles, right?
I like
Yeah,
it. It's
they're-
great.
Yeah, they're great. The first one, the the Fuck, Marry, Kill is done by my friend Jory. He's amazing and a badass and amazing guitarist and singer and songwriter. And then that one that I just played, T-shirt of the Day, that's Adam Stacey from Secret Chiefs 3.
Cool.
And a Stratosphere, and he's kind of a hero of mine.
He's on this funny picture.
Yeah. They gave that. So that's his new band. It's called Snail Force. It's.
Is it really with accordions?
Yeah, it's your favorite
I
accordion.
love
This guy's so
accordions.
talented. He does everything.
Dude, Adam is just.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I've always wanted to learn how to play the
Oh,
accordion.
amazing. It must be so hard. Going up and down and
all
in
the
and out.
stuff.
Yeah. And his new band is called Snail Force, and they had me star in their music promo.
Dude, you got to check it out. Jason acted.
Yeah.
He was doing an acting. Hey, he acted like an insane fan.
Yeah, my very first, my acting debut. I've never acted ever before. And
It wasn't
was a lot
really
of fun.
acting though, because you just are an insane.
I know
fan,
that's
right?
right. It was not a stretch
yourself.
for me. But honestly, like Adam's become a close friend. But before I ever met him, like I basically did stalk his bands, and I mean, like when I was living in Wisconsin, I would watch Stratosphere videos of him like nonstop for years.
Yeah.
And so like I still am kind of an obsessive fan. And Secret Chiefs 3 is like God tier for me. So.
Oh wow!
The fact that I actually know the guy is
Yeah, it's
crazy.
cool that you're friends now. He's a talented motherfucker.
He is.
Damn.
Yeah, he's an amazing dude. But he made that little jinger. He made that jingle for a T-shirt of the Day, and it also features his wife and his kid on vocals.
I love it.
Let's listen again.
Okay, let's do it. So if you listen closely, you can hear his wife say, "Ooh, what are you wearing?"
Yeah.
And then you can hear his son Sage say, "Let's find out." I think that's how it goes. So yeah. Let's listen again.
It's T-shirt of the day.
That must be his wife.
It's a T-shirt
No, that's his son.
of the
That's-
day.
Ew, what are you wearing?
Let's find out. It's a T-shirt of the day.
So good. Yeah, so
That's
good.
rad. So unzip. Let's see.
Oh yeah, mine's Reverend Bazaar.
They're
It's just a
holding
doom
back.
band. Oh, from Finland, perhaps. No, they are from Finland.
Are they from
100%.
Finland? Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah. Oh,
Reverend
that's
Bazaar.
Cool.
Yeah, they're awesome, dude.
Oh,
On
I
the back,
like that
it's
a
got
lot.
a funny phrase.
That
I forget what it
font
says.
is very dope.
What's it say?
I killed the ones
I
I
loved.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I think we all know what that means. None of us have ever been there before.
No.
I think I've probably done this before. Sepultura, Beneath the Remains.
Nice.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bands, one of my favorite shirts.
We had the privilege of meeting Max Cavalera
We did.
a couple
So
months ago. We got
cool.
to go on the tour bus.
You know,
Fucking
hung out with Max for a bit.
Guy was very important to both of us as youth, so that was pretty cool.
Speaking of which, Johnny came to the LA show. Got
Oh,
to hang
nice.
with Johnny and,
Nice.
his partner again. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That's cool. He came down. Damn. For that.
No, he's from LA.
Oh, I thought he was living in like Central.
No, he's in LA.
Okay.
He just got back from playing with Lamp of Murmur in San Francisco the night before.
He plays drums for them?
No,
Oh.
his band was playing with them.
Oh. This dude was on tour. I mean,
2.5 month tour.
in a bus.
Oh my.
I mean, it was a nice bus.
Nice bus. Really
Still,
nice
though,
bus.
that's a hard life, dude.
It is. Yeah, it's a hard life, but it's just him and his partner, and they're young, and they're in LA, and it doesn't seem like they have a lot of responsibilities, and so like, fuck yeah. Do it.
And this
It's
guy's
amazing.
like a huge Aglock fan, and he was just so stoked to meet Jason.
I
Yeah,
bet.
it was pretty
I
funny.
bet.
Yeah, it was really cool. He wore his Agalock shirt on stage.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it was great.
and he got us into me, Max. That's how it happened. Yeah. Thank you to Johnny.
Full
Johnny.
circle.
Yeah,
we
he's
love
great.
you, Johnny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
we
you,
do.
Johnny.
We do love Johnny, and that was super cool. He came to the show. He brought me a shirt of one of his bands that I can't pronounce.
Okay, what? Yeah, okay. He's in the Black Braid as well.
He's in Black Braid as well. So he's in Go Ahead and Die with Max Cavalera. He's in Black Braid. He's in this other band I can't pronounce. He used to be in that Maleficent band that we saw.
Oh,
in
oh yeah,
Houston.
yeah.
Yeah.
know
Amazing
that.
drummer.
Yeah.
Super good dude.
Nice.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Sweet Sepultura shirt, bro.
Thank you. It's a little big for me, but it's really comfy.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap it up, let's listen to the Let's Stump Nick.
Okay. Do you
Even
have
though
one?
I don't have one, I just want to listen to the song because it's...
What do you
I
mean
feel
you
like it's
don't
getting-
have one?
I don't have one for you to listen to, but we should listen to the song because I feel like it's not getting any love.
What are you talking about right now?
The intro. Let's listen to the intro music that Nathaniel made.
Okay.
just because it's sweet and we haven't done it for a long
Oh,
time.
I see. You're just going to play me the intro,
Yeah.
but we actually don't have a...
I don't have one.
Cool.
I can't do that.
Okay, no
anymore.
problem.
It's too much.
Let's stump Nick.
Smooth.
Very smooth.
Let's stump Nick.
Yeah.
Nathaniel did that?
Nathaniel Larichette.
He's a badass.
He is a badass. He's a Canadian badass. Which
They
I feel
exist.
like makes him more badass, maybe? I don't know.
I'd say
Like he
yeah.
wrestles moose and shit. Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty badass.
Can you picture Nathaniel wrestling?
I was going to say wrestles him with his kindness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 He seems like but he talks about nature a lot, but he's kind of a city guy, it seems to me.
I think he's kind of a city guy. Yeah, yeah. But he's like 2 feet tall.
Oh.
I mean, not literally, but almost. He's just like a really petite guy.
He's tall though, isn't he?
Is he?
He's got big hands, dude.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess he does have
Because
big
he's playing
hands.
that acoustic so well,
Yeah.
you know?
He is an amazing guitar player. Absolutely amazing.
First class.
First class. Well, y'all, that was great.
That was fun.
Thanks so much for coming by, Amy. That was so much fun.
Thank you.
Wait, did we stump him?
No,
I
there
don't
was
have
actually.
one,
He just
so-
wanted to play the song, segment song.
I see.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I was ready for it though.
I know.
I mean, play something really.
Okay, I'll
I was
just
pick
gearing,
some.
I was gearing up.
Pick something, and I'll tell you what country it's from, or something.
Okay, here
Just-
I'll pick something. Just give
Okay.
me a second here.
Yeah.
I've got Spotify launched right now.
Damn, dude. Yeah, you shouldn't have brought that
Okay,
up.
okay. Here's one.
Okay. Oh, nice. This is like an 80s groove. Could be new, though. Is it Twin Tribes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is what Twin Tribes sounds like.
This is cool.
Yeah. It's so 80s,
It
isn't
doesn't sound new.
No, that's what I like about it.
No.
Fucking awesome.
Super dig.
Yeah.
This is going to be the soundtrack of my weekend, I believe.
Guitars.
It's all moody out this weekend.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 people.
Just 2 guys. They're from Texas, dude.
Twin Tribe.
Yeah.
I like the name, too.
Just let the vocal come on real quick so
Yeah.
she can hear that. Coming at ya. WCRV.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. right?
Awesome. Yeah. No complaints here. Yeah.
Just a lot of nostalgic feels. Even though when I was a kid, I wasn't really into The Cure and Depeche Mode and stuff, but I appreciate it
love
as
it.
an adult.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
This is the song that you added to our playlist
Last time?
last time.
Yeah. Were we talking about what we were listening to? Because I'm still listening to it.
It was the
that
Hell's
why?
Heroes
Oh, yeah.
episode.
Because we saw them live, yeah. It was fucking amazing. Amazing. Imagine going to a 4-day metal festival, pumping, hard
Yeah.
hitting, and then at the very end of the whole fest, these guys came on.
It's like a shower.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was like a moment of just like, fuck.
Yeah.
It was like a closure. It was so
how
emotional.
gorgeous.
It was amazing.
It was
What a
cool
cool
because Nick and I
experience.
were like, let's check them out for a little bit and then go home because we fly out early in the morning
Yeah.
and we're exhausted and we
Yeah.
end up staying for the whole damn thing. 'Cause it was just so cool.
So good.
That's rad.
It's grooving to it.
That's cool.
And it took some balls, I think, even for the organizers to book a band
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very different than what we heard the whole
Yeah.
weekend. It's kind of cool.
And it seemed like most people were into it. Like
Yeah.
people were sticking around. Nobody was like, what is this?
No,
Yeah.
no. Something that relates to metalheads for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's just maybe
Chose
goth.
wisely. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool.
Cool, man.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Well, thanks again, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
Thanks for coming by.
you.
That was
This
so much fun. So great.
Such a good time.
So great.
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Nick,
We're gonna go on a
thank you
tour, bro.
again.
Don't
Oh,
let
yeah.
it
Yeah.
We'll set that
for
up.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah. She and I will
And
hook
I'm
it
going to
up.
go
I'll
shopping
let
in
you know.
your merch area
Oh,
over
yeah,
here
we
before
got-
I
yeah, I got the
leave,
merch
too.
got
Did you
Yeah.
know Nick built that
I built this rack.
You did,
Yeah,
so
because the whole
nice.
idea was to be able to look at it like you're in a record store.
Yeah.
Face it.
Oh,
I don't
you
like
did a
looking at them
great
on the
job.
side, bro.
No,
It's
it's
so great.
good. Yeah, it's great.
It's so good.
Anyway, I didn't have room for it in my new house, so
Oh, lucky
gave it
you.
to Jason.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks again. I have Agalock headlining MDF soon, couple
Amazing.
weeks. You and I are both going to MDF for the whole time.
Yep,
in a
Wednesday to
couple weeks.
Monday.
Have fun.
It's like 5
It's
days
gonna be a
of
long
metal.
time. We gotta
pace ourselves, dude.
Gotta pace ourselves. We gotta hook up with Kelly that on Wednesday. We're gonna go hang out with Kelly
That's amazing.
from Atheist,
yeah,
and
amazing.
Yeah. It's kind of what you're saying about not doing the RA stuff on your vacation. Like, this was my vacation, but now I'm playing.
So we haven't discussed how that's going to ruin the
it's going to ruin the whole fucking thing.
I know it won't, but maybe one day. That's fine.
It's not even going to ruin that day. It's just I'm going to have to sound check.
Yeah.
And then I'll be fine.
Okay.
It'll totally be fine.
Okay.
I've got that coming up. Do I have anything else coming up? I don't think so. No, I just have the cassette that just came out, Dark Sky Equilibrium. It's available on the Crucial Blast Bandcamp.
Congrats, dude. It's really great.
Thank you. I'm really proud of it. I've got... God, I feel like I have this other stuff coming up. I just can't... Yeah, Lunasa. I'm playing Lunasa Cascadia as Moonbladder in July. I just confirmed three more shows for the fall that I can't talk about yet.
Nice.
And I'm going to be... I guess I can say this. I'm going to be having a tour in the fall as well.
Moonbladder.
As Moonbladder, but I can't discuss that yet.
Oh, that sounds exciting that you can't discuss it.
It's going to be...
I mean, the fact that you can't makes me excited to hear why.
It's
going to be on the moon.
Yeah, it's going to be in my bladder.
Wow.
No, I'm really excited about this. I am co-conspiring with somebody, and it's going to be a hell of a tour.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Nick, what's up with you?
Things are good. I can't think of anything.
Nothing on the horizon?
New Traveler's Rest coming out for sure. Next week, 2 weeks. Tapes are coming in.
Oh, nice. So it's done. It's being... Did you get it mastered for cassette?
Jory mastered it. So
then he did it for cassette. He knows what he's doing. No, he did.
But I think it's the same version that I'm going to use on Bandcamp, too.
It might be, yeah.
I don't know if there's two. I think it's just one that he gave me. So
he gave me 2.
Okay, I'll check. I think he may have given me 2 because I have one that's in side A, side B, and then I have another one that has each track. Okay, there are 2. There are 2.
Yeah, no, he knows what he's doing.
Oh, of course he does. Yeah, he's a man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great.
Yep.
So it's done. It's done. It's just you're just waiting on the tape.
Yep. This one's a concept about an old man journeying on his boat to the Raven Island, which is symbolic of death. And so he's near the end of his life, and he's just finally gonna put himself away.
Is he gonna come packaged in like something cool?
Oh yeah, dude. Got some good ideas, dude.
So this guy, he did this whole project, right? Like Nick's one of my very, very closest friends, and we talk music all the time. He did this whole fucking project without even telling me.
On the fly, yeah.
Wow.
And all of a sudden, it's this package, which you'll see. It comes in a box, in a bag, like all this stuff. It didn't tell anybody until he took a photo and texted it to us and was like, "This is out today." And I was like, "Wait, what the?"
I didn't want anybody to be like, "Tell me more." I just didn't want to have to explain it. I was just like, I'm going to do this fucking shit and see what happens.
I've always wanted to do that, but I get too excited and then I tell somebody.
Yeah, I was very excited. I was just like, I'm not going to say it.
It's great. It's a super cool concept. You can get that at the Earth and Sound store or in your Bandcamp.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. I'm excited for you. Mm-hmm. Amy, what's up with you? Do you have anything on the horizon that's cool?
I'm going to go get some tacos after I leave here. My stomach is growling.
Yeah, we've been
I'm
at this a long time.
I'm thinking about like tacos. No, I am just doing my thing. Yeah, like I'm busy. I'm booked through June, which is great.
Nice. That's great.
And I'm, looking forward to summer in Portland.
Yeah,
honestly, it's like paradise here. So I'm gearing up for being outside, doing my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
In Portland. Yeah, it's going to be a good season. That's about it for me.
Well, that's great. Well, we should definitely hook up and grab a beer sometime soon. And also we should do the tour.
Yeah, please. I love tours. I've been to the Jelly Belly tour. I've been on all kinds of tours. I love tours.
Come have a tour.
I want to go on a tour.
Come have a tour.
Yeah. Oh, I'm supposed to get a tour of Brewhouse too.
Oh, nice. Have you been to this brewery? It's metal themed brewery.
Metal brewery. It's
Northwest.
Yeah, Northwest. Oh. It's in Northwest. It's like
industrial area,
but it's super cool. It's few people own it. They're like super into black metal, and they're big Agalloch fans. So they invited me out, and they hooked. Aaron and I went out, and they hooked us up, and we met them and hung out with them, and they're super great. Really cool space. They call it the Scorched Church because it's these like old church pews, but they're like they're literally like burnt. There's like parts of them like burnt. Wow. Like it's really
very metal, dude.
I really want in on that, and I have a couple friends that would love that. So maybe, and I would like you to meet them. So maybe we'll join forces. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, the beers are really, 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 really good.
Okay,
mostly a hazies, I think. Right,
there's a lot of hazies, and like most of the beers are like 9% or higher. I mean, it's like you can't fuck around with this shit.
I'm gonna take an Uber.
Yeah, they do have one called Sixes, which is 6.66%.
Whoa!
Oh,
Whenever that
don't
happens, I'm always
say.
like, "Are you sure it's 0.66?"
Yeah, we saw
On
that
the nose.
in
Yeah,
Houston,
come on
too.
now.
We saw that in Houston.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went in there playing Emperor the first time I went in
Amazing.
there. So
Holy
yeah,
shit,
like
that's
awesome.
That sounds fun as hell.
Yeah,
that's
All right, let's
place.
definitely do that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Cool. Well, thanks again, Amy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amy.
And
Thank you both.
yeah, I think we don't have anything on the books for the podcast, but we have a couple ideas that we're going to schedule soon.
I want to do this body count episode.
Yeah, we're going to do one on the first body count record.
Yep. And how that changed the world.
Yeah.
It actually did.
You'll have to explain it to me. I don't know.
What's the word? Hyperbole? Yeah, it might be hyperbole.
It might be, but maybe not. Maybe just changing it for you. I don't know.
Well, it changed the relationship between the PMRC and like censorship and how black music was being attacked.
Yeah.
Things did change after that a little bit.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Ice-T fucking stuck it to the man.
He did. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, and we're going to have. Well, I can't say, but yeah,
More cool content on the way. Keep tuning in.
Always.
As
friends.
always, yes. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
An Earth in Sound production.